Chapter 1100. If he could find old Master Gu's whereabouts, Su Yun would definitely go to America without hesitation. But he couldn't bring Lin Gu with him this time. They had sunk the Japanese destroyer. Su Yun needed Lin Gu to stay by Ruan Qingxuang and Guogua's side as a safeguard. After all, there was only Chou Yun, and Su Yun was still worried. If the Japanese hired an expert at a high price, Su Yun would feel more at ease with Lin Gu around. If Lin Gu didn't go with him, Su Yun really couldn't find a more suitable person. Only the group of brothers in the Dragon Brigade had a good rapport with him and was capable enough to make him feel at ease. But he couldn't borrow people from the Dragon Brigade. After all, this had nothing to do with the organization. It was Su Yun's personal grudge. This kind of thing couldn't involve the country's soldiers. Wan Guangxiao and Wang Yi definitely wouldn't allow their subordinates to take such risks. Even Su Yun wouldn't have such a plan. His brothers were indeed brothers who had gone through fire and water together, but this kind of thing couldn't be done. Su Yun had already violated discipline enough. He couldn't let his brothers continue to do so. People like him were already a headache to the Dragon Brigade if there was only one person like him in 50 years. This was Wan Guangxiao's original words. As Su Yun thought about it, he was bored to death and was about to leave the hotel to buy a pack of cigarettes from the nearby supermarket. Just as he walked to the entrance of the hotel, two girls pointed at him and started gossiping. Isn't this the person that the news was talking about? The tall and thin girl with long hair said. Which one? The slightly plump girl next to her frowned and looked over. She exclaimed, it's really him. Su Yun was a little confused. Did he look like a famous person? On the news? What news? Is it CCTV or a local station? Or is it a country channel? Su Yun didn't have time to think about these things. He walked straight out of the hotel's main entrance. Coincidentally, an Audi A8 stopped at the entrance. A fat man with a big belly got out of the car. He had a fierce face and short hair. One look and you could tell that he was a boss. This kind of boss usually liked to be arrogant, so when the fatty first saw Su Yun, he was expressionless. The feeling of being arrogant was quite strong, as if he was the biggest boss in Beijing. However, this feeling of arrogance only lasted for a second. In just a second, the expression on the fatty's face changed. He had become so amiable, so full of smiles. He moved his fat body with small steps, trying to make himself look as light as possible as he came to Su Yun's side. Oh, aren't you that Su Yun, Boss Su? The fat man's face was full of smiles. Nice to meet you, nice to meet you. Aha. Su Yun was even more confused. This fatty actually said his name. Ha ha ha, Boss Su looks taller than on TV. We know each other much better. Fatty, who was still full of smiles. Su Yun was completely confused. Boss Hu, right? Yes, I'm Hu Jiufa. Fortune Real Estate Development Company, Ltd. is mine. Fatty, who introduced himself. Su Yun nodded in response. Hello, we know each other? Yes. Oh, no, I know you, Boss Su. Boss Su, you're such a big person. How could you know me? Hu Jiufa said, but I really admire Boss Su. Boss Su, if everyone in the world is as bold as you, then our Hua Xia is really. I admire you. I only admire you. Su Yun made two sounds. Could it be that this brother recognized the wrong person? There was a boss who looked very similar to him and was very rich. How could they have the same name and surname? This was the same logic as finding two identical leaves in the world. It was simply impossible. Boss Su, CCTV interviewed you, but they didn't ask you to stay for a meal. After all, your contribution to our Hua Xia is too great. Hu Jiufa held his big belly with his hand. Alas, the country is now advocating economy and cracking down on extravagance and waste. Please don't mind that they didn't treat you well. Since I'm lucky enough to meet Boss Su today, I'll be the host. I'll treat Boss Su well on behalf of the country. Boss Sue, you must give me face. It's my honor. No, Boss Who, I still have something to do. I can't eat this meal. Su Yun hurriedly refused. What the hell was going on? Hu Jofa was disappointed as if he had lost 1,000,000 yuan. His face was full of annoyance. Boss Su, I know that you must be very busy every day. Can't you spare 5 minutes to chat with me? Let me learn from you. Boss Hu, you're the boss. I really don't have anything to teach you. I still have something to do. That's all. Su Yun hurriedly left after saying that. What the hell was going on? After leaving the hotel quickly, Su Yun realized that the 2 girls and the fat boss who were not the only ones who were sick. Many people on the street looked at him with surprise, pointed at him, or took the initiative to greet him. Everyone was absolutely full of respect and love for Su Yun. This respect and love made it seem as if Su Yun had done some great charity work. One had to know that Su Yun had donated 500,000 yuan to the earthquake a few days ago. Even Lin Gu didn't know about it. Su Yun had donated the money on the ICBC online bank before going to bed. These days, the foundation didn't dare to believe. Even if it was a celebrity, they still didn't feel at ease. The Red Society was also detested by Gua Mimi, who was confirmed to be a prostitute. It was better to donate directly on the ICBC online bank. After entering his personal account center, he saw a charity donation item. He directly donated the money to the Sichuan Charity Association. When it came to donations, it didn't matter how much money was donated. It was just a gesture of love. If it wasn't enough, it wouldn't affect one's meals and basic living needs. Donating would be considered as accumulating good karma. If one couldn't even afford to eat, then don't donate. If one really had the heart to donate, even 2 yuan would be a heavy burden. However, there were many people in society who liked to do charity. Su Yun wasn't the only one. Moreover, he wasn't as high profile as Brother Biao. Why did people look at him like that? You must be Uncle Su Yun. Suddenly, a child with 5 stripes on his shoulders and a red scarf around his neck dashed in front of Su Yun. Uncle, I thank you on behalf of the young pioneers in the country for everything you've done. Today, I was at home with my parents and watched the news broadcast. When your deeds were reported, I was completely shocked. My heart trembled. You're really great. Please allow me to represent the young pioneers in the country to say to you that we love you. What the heck? What are the children nowadays taught by their families and schools? At such a young age, they're already speaking in a bureaucratic tone. Brother, you've got the wrong person. Su Yun, moreover, I don't have anything in common with the young pioneers. I'm a party member. Uncle Su, you're really a living lei feng. You've done such a great deed. The news is reporting about you, but you still refuse to admit it. The red scarf with 5 stripes said seriously, I will definitely study hard and strive to be a useful person like you in the future. I believe that as long as I persevere, I will definitely become a great person like you. What's so great about me? Su Yun was sweating. Why does this child seem to know everything? Did he spread the news of the Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Forces ship exploding? My God, why didn't the Marine Corps call him? Master didn't say anything either. How did he end up on the news? Did he really end up on the news? You've collected so many national treasures overseas and returned them to the country unconditionally. Isn't that great enough? Wu Daobar asked excitedly, Your actions have made all of us young pioneers see you and Uncle Lei as good role models. Don't you feel proud of that? My parents, my teachers, my friends, my classmates, and myself all regard you as an idol of our vitality. Don't you feel proud? Chapter 1101. After rolling his eyes, Su Yun suddenly stopped in his tracks. Damn. Are you kidding me? Su Yun was stunned for a long time. Collecting national treasures overseas? He doesn't have the time. Even if he does, he doesn't have the money to collect them. Unless he steals or snatches them. Su Yun is not that kind of person. Even if this item belongs to Hua Xia in the past, he will not be so unreasonable as to snatch it. Unless this item is in the hands of the Japanese. Wait a minute. Su Yun's mind buzzed, and he finally realized something. Brother, what national treasures have I donated to the country? Didn't you see the news? What do you remember the most? Su Yun leaned over and asked 5 bars number 5 earnestly. 5 bars seriously thought about it for a dozen minutes and said, too much, too much. Too many things have left a deep impression on me. But if I were to write an essay about a national treasure that left a deep impression on me, I would definitely write about that golden jade garment. Because that is the most shocking thing I have ever seen in all my years of life. The ancient people of Hua Xia are too smart. What has this got to do with being smart? It should be said that the ancient kings of Hua Xia are too rich. They have money to burn. Sigh. This kid nowadays dares to use any kind of words. As long as it can show that he is smarter than others, it will be fine. It was estimated that the children who were educated under this model would be able to write manuscripts for the leaders in the city. They would definitely be very bureaucratic. On this point, Su Yun was still very confident in them. Golden jade garment. Su Yun suspected that he was hallucinating. Damn, this kid actually said he donated the golden jade garment. If Su Yun had it, he would definitely donate it to the country. But he wouldn't donate it in such a high-profile manner. But the problem was that he didn't donate it. Why did he appear on the news in such a high-profile manner? Zhualangyue. She must be the one behind this. The Empress is indeed the Empress. What did she do? Su Yun had to get to the bottom of this. What on earth had Zhualangyue done? Su Yun didn't have the time to go to the supermarket to buy cigarettes. With a face that was more famous than a celebrity, he really didn't know how to walk around the streets ostentatiously. Su Yun quickly returned to the car and took out his phone to search for today's news. As soon as he opened the web page, he was dumbfounded. The mysterious rich young master's collection of antiques worth tens of billions would all be returned to the country unconditionally, promoting positive energy and setting an example for rich businessmen. These kinds of news reports were all good. Some editors were more despicable. They began to make up stories to attract attention. They said that this was not some mysterious rich young master, but the corrupt big tigers of the country. The big tigers used him to return something that did not belong to them to the country. He was not worthy of everyone's praise and so on. In any case, there were already 2 factions on the internet. One side was supportive, and the other side was cynical. In any case, both sides were in the right, and no one was willing to be outdone. These messy news reports didn't matter. However, Su Yun saw a photo that was actually his face. It was exactly the same. Only after careful observation could one notice that the Su Yun in the photo had narrower shoulders than the real Su Yun. He was dressed more tastefully, and especially his fair wrist. No matter how one looked at it, it didn't look like a man's hand. Damn. Su Yun carefully observed the eyes of the himself in the photo. Only then did he realize that it was definitely Bai Xiaoye. She definitely couldn't escape. Su Yun dared to bet 100 million yuan. You guys are really too much. Although Su Yun really hoped that Zhualangyue's collection of antiques and artworks could be returned to the country, these things were originally the country's public property. They belonged to the people of Hua Xia and shouldn't belong to just one person. However, he didn't want Zhualangyue to have to drag him down when she returned these things to the country. They even made Bai Xiaoye put on makeup to look like him. Even her expression was so similar. It was simply too painstaking. This news was so big. What should he do? Wouldn't he be played to death in the next few days? In less than a night, those experts among the people would be able to dig him up. Be it the entertainment tycoon of Sky Entertainment Group or the behind-the-scenes boss of Xingkai Hotel, all of these would probably be dug up. Of course, no matter how amazing the human investigation expert was, they wouldn't be able to find out his identity as Yen Long. This was something that Su Yun was very confident in. Bai Xiaoye, you and your master are playing too big. Su Yun didn't care about Gu Chia, who hadn't eaten upstairs. He guessed that she wasn't in the mood to eat. He directly started the car and rushed overnight to the secret Blue Star Clubhouse at the junction of Yanjing and Tianjing. As the saying goes, the monk can run away, but the temple can't. Since you guys are playing this game, then you can't blame me. Su Yun had to get to the bottom of this. If they wanted to do good deeds without leaving their names behind and learn from Lei Feng's good example, as long as they made a request, the TV station would definitely respect them. However, they obviously didn't have this intention. Not only did they not say that they wanted to do good deeds without leaving their names behind, but they also purposely left their names behind. Su Yun had to find out what they were planning. When they arrived at the destination, Su Yun was stopped by two women as soon as he got out of the car. Su Yun didn't hold back. The pressure in his body exploded, forcing the two women to retreat. The powerful pressure naturally attracted the attention of others. Bai Xiaoye's speed wasn't slow, and she appeared very quickly. Su Yun, why are you here? Bai Xiaoye was shocked. Su Yun heaved a sigh of relief. I should be the one asking this, right? Bai Xiaoye, why are you here? Don't think that I'm so stupid that I can't tell that you're the one who played me on TV. Bai Xiaoye laughed when she heard that. Is that so? Isn't it very similar? After Master put on makeup for me, even I was shocked. I really thought that I was you. Really? Ha ha ha. Is it funny? Su Yun frowned. Where's your master? I have something to ask her. Why did she do this? Su Yun, don't push your luck. Don't you want these things to be owned by the country so that everyone can have a chance to see these rare treasures? Bai Xiaoye said. My master asked me to give these things to you selflessly. She's giving you a lot of face. However, she doesn't want me to be in the limelight, so she can only let you do it. Su Yun was speechless. Then you should at least discuss it with me. Ask me if I'm willing to do it. Ask me if I have the idea of being a celebrity. I'm such a low-key person. If you play me like this, how can I go out in the future? If I don't do this, you really won't be able to go out. A voice drifted into everyone's ears. Except for Su Yun, everyone's expression became serious. Obviously, Zhuolangyue's words were very dignified every time. Xiaoye, since Su Yun is here, let him in. Zhuolangyue's voice was cold but not cold, dignified but not strict. Su Yun couldn't tell if it was comfortable or uncomfortable. Su Yun didn't intend to be polite at all. Sister Yu, since I'm here, I'm going to ask you clearly. Don't think that you can easily send me away. Even if you don't come, I'll ask Xiaoye to invite you here so that you can talk to me. Zhuolangyue said, if you can't tell me clearly, I won't let you go. Kid. Su Yun frowned. Why did Zhuolangyue's words sound like he was walking into a trap? Let's go. My master asked you to go in. Bai Xiaoye said. Why won't I go in just because your master asked me to? Why won't she come out? Su Yun said resentfully. Although he said so, he didn't dare to do so. He still obediently followed Bai Xiaoye in. Originally, Su Yun was thinking about how he should interrogate Zhuolangyue. Now, he was guessing what questions Zhuolangyue would ask him. It seemed that it was impossible to turn the tables. Su Yun pursed his lips. He didn't care so much now. No matter what, Zhuolangyue shouldn't make things difficult for him. At least she was willing to give the golden jade dress to the country. This meant that she wasn't a bad person. Why did Wan Guangxiao say that they shouldn't provoke Zhuolangyue? This woman wasn't on the same side as them. Chapter 1102. Su Yun was still mulling over these things when Zhuolangyue suddenly appeared in front of him. Brat, how dare you? What do you mean? Su Yun was also calm. Sister, you gave me such an opportunity to show my face. Even if it's to express my gratitude, I have to pay you a visit. Yes, master, Su Yun doesn't have any ill intentions. Bai Xiaoye also stood on Su Yun's side and spoke up for him. This really surprised Su Yun. Seeing Bai Xiaoye's reaction, Zhuolangyue was expressionless. She said to Su Yun again, I don't care if you are here to thank me or to question me. You have to answer a question of mine first. Please ask, Su Yun said. I will definitely tell you everything that Sister Yu wants to know. After all, the other party was the Empress. No matter how much affinity they had, she was also the publicly recognized #1 person in the underground world. It shouldn't be difficult for her to crush Su Yun. Furthermore, Su Yun was also very clear that sooner or later, he would ask Zhuo Langyue about his father's matter. No matter what the reason was, Su Yun still had to be respectful and courteous to Zhuo Langyue. At the very least, he couldn't let Zhuo Langyue hate him. Otherwise, there would be nothing to talk about. Well said. Zhuo Langyue smiled faintly. Well then, let me ask you, what did you do in the high seas outside the East China Sea? Su Yun was stunned on the spot. Could it be that Zhuo Langyue was possessed by Gu Zueran? She even knew how to calculate with her fingers? From your expression, you should be very clear about what I want you to say. Zhuo Langyue's gaze directly locked onto Su Yun. Sister Yu, As Su Yun spoke, he rapidly thought about how to quietly kick this question away. However, Zhuo Langyue directly made things clear. You might have done too many things in the high seas outside the East China Sea. I will narrow down the scope for you. Japan sank a destroyer. Don't say that this matter has nothing to do with you. Damn. The Empress was indeed the Empress. Zhuo Langyue instantly felt like Buddha knew everything like the back of her hand. Her lofty aura simply made Su Yun unable to raise his head. Sister Yu, how did you know that a destroyer sank in Japan? Su Yun was puzzled. Do you think I don't watch the news? Zhuo Langyue's answer. Su Yun calmed down a little. Then, the news must have reported it, right? Could it be that this destroyer sinking of course have something to do with me? I'm afraid, the current situation, Zhuo Langyue said. Do you think that if the Japanese can confirm that this matter was done by a soldier from Huaxia, they will just let it go and not create international public opinion and instigate the threat of Huaxia? Yes, they will definitely. Su Yun said, but, Sister Yu, even the Japanese can't confirm that this matter has something to do with me. How can you be so sure that this matter has something to do with me? This kind of thing requires evidence. Without evidence, you can't simply say things. I heard the news on the car radio this morning and heard the spokesperson of the Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs say that the remnants of the missile that attacked their warship were found to be American-made. Bai Xiaoye heaved a sigh of relief. Su Yun continued, the missiles produced by Huaxia are not inferior to those produced by the Americans. Furthermore, our country has never bought these weapons and all sorts of other things from the Americans. I feel that the Japanese should discuss this matter with the Americans. Seeing that Su Yun refused to admit it, Zhuo Langyue's expression became a lot more relaxed. Good, very good. You refuse to admit it. This matter is indeed not something that you can brag about. In the future, no matter who asks you, you must remember to deny it. What does this mean? Su Yun's heart skipped a beat. He always felt that talking to Zhuo Langyue was too tiring. Zhuo Langyue seemed to completely understand what she was thinking. Su Yun said so much just now, but it didn't seem like he was talking to her. She was still confident that this matter was done by Su Yun. She even told Su Yun not to talk nonsense and not to admit it. This was the right thing to do. Sister Yu, you don't believe me? Su Yun asked tentatively. Because I believe that Wang Dahu won't lie to me. Therefore, you can completely admit to everything in front of me, Zhuo Langyue said lightly. What? Wang Dahu. Su Yun almost choked himself to death. The boss of Dahu Seafood City's ocean restaurant, Wang Dahu, actually had a relationship with Zhuo Langyue. You really can't judge a book by its cover. Don't be so surprised, Zhuo Langyue said. He was my disciple and all his abilities were bestowed upon him by me. When I asked him about something, he naturally wouldn't lie. At first, I thought that he was stirring up trouble. After all, that Japanese destroyer sank in the sea near his ocean restaurant. I called him to question him, and he said that it was indeed related to him. I asked him to tell me in detail, and he finally told me about the relationship between you two. Therefore, I know exactly what happened to you on the high seas outside the East China Sea. Know exactly? Then why did you ask? Are you playing with me? If the other party was someone else, Su Yun would definitely have turned hostile and glared at them. However, he had to give face to the Empress. Su Yun, what my master means is that you can't admit to this matter to anyone. If the Japanese hear about it and have something on you, they won't let you off, Bai Xiaoya said. Do you think that I, Su Yun, don't understand such simple logic? Do you even need to tell me this? Of course, I can't talk about it casually. Wang Dahu, I can't believe that you are actually a disciple of the Empress. No wonder you dare to open a restaurant on the high seas. TSK, you have a backer. Now, Su Yun was even more curious about Zhuo Langyue. Sister Yu, don't you only accept female disciples? Wang Dahu is an exception. Zhuo Langyue said, All right, it's your turn. Didn't you come here to ask me some questions too? Of course. Su Yun said, I thank you on behalf of everyone. The cultural relics that you return to the country are priceless. Thank you very much. Zhuo Langyue shook her head. You don't have to be so polite with me. I didn't give you anything. However, I have a question that I don't understand. Why did you ask Bai Xiaoye to dress up as me? She even accepted a news interview. Su Yun said, I'm a low-profile person and don't like to cause such a big commotion. It will disrupt my personal life. Zhuo Langyue asked back, Isn't it good to have such a good opportunity to leave your name in society? It's good, but I don't want to, Su Yun said. Furthermore, these are obviously your things. You should be the one to leave your name in history. I naturally have my reasons for doing so. Zhuo Langyue said faintly, Su Yun, the focus of all the media is on you and those cultural relics. It's absolutely impossible for them to link you to the shipwreck in the high seas outside the East China Sea. Do you understand what I mean? The Japanese weren't stupid pigs. There were some things that they would investigate, and investigate again. Even the slightest trace of evidence could implicate you. But now, no one suspects you. Perhaps Su Yun was too inexperienced, or perhaps Zhuo Langyue was too shrewd. Although Su Yun didn't quite understand, he could feel that Zhuo Langyue seemed to be doing this for his sake. Chapter 1103. But Zhuo Langyue's tone changed. If you don't want the media to disturb you, why don't you go abroad for a vacation? If you stay in China, I'm afraid there will be a lot of trouble for you. Unless you take advantage of the situation and disappear from everyone's sight as soon as possible. Sister Yu, is this the reason why you asked Bai Xiaoye to disguise as me? If she shows up, she will be pestered by the media in the future. Su Yun said, You're really smart, killing two birds with one stone. Zhuo Langyue smiled slightly. But it's still more beneficial for you. Think about it. Who would suspect that a person who gave a pile of priceless national treasures to the country would have the time to sink a destroyer of the Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force in the high seas outside the East China Sea? Even the Japanese themselves wouldn't suspect it. Su Yun shrugged. He believed Zhuo Langyue's words, but he was a little worried about Wang Dahu. Brother Dahu's restaurant is on the high seas. Will the Japanese always find trouble with him? After all, the shipwreck site is so close to him. He will definitely be involved. You don't have to worry about this. Wang Dahu has been in society for so many years. He has more experience than you. Zhuo Langyue said, with the idiot Asu Dalong, the Deputy Prime Minister of Japan, supporting him, I'm afraid no captain of the Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force will be stupid enough to find trouble with him. After a pause, Zhuo Langyue continued, After you were escorted away, Asu Dalong arrived. When the Japanese warship surrounded Wang Dahu, Asu Dalong was on the ship. With him as Wang Dahu's witness, do you think the Japanese army will still suspect Wang Dahu? Amazing. How could a person not wet his shoes in society? Even if his shoes were wet, he didn't need to be afraid. Interpersonal relationships were like a dryer. This time, Asu Dalong was Wang Dahu's dryer when his shoes were wet. Don't worry. You won't be wrong about Wang Dahu. Although he used a Su Dalong, he is definitely not a lackey of the Japanese. You don't need to worry about this at all. Zhuo Lengyue said, drenching a Su Dalong's oysters with gutter oil can make a Su Dalong take care of him in various ways. Humph, I'm afraid only Wang Dahu can do this. Su Yun felt a wave of admiration for Wang Dahu. Indeed, he didn't misjudge him. Now that Zhuo Langyue suggested him to hide abroad, it was just in line with his current situation. As long as Matthew got the news, he would definitely go to the WS. Sister Yu, I understand, Su Yun said. Since you need me to go abroad to avoid the media for a few days, I'll go. I know where you want to go. Zhuo Langyue said indifferently. America? Su Yun was startled, but he quickly understood. Since Zhuo Langyue was able to contact Wang Dahu, she definitely knew about Gu Qia's matter. Gu Qia and Wang Dahu had talked about what happened in their circle. Therefore, Zhuo Langyue definitely knew something about what happened in Vancouver. I'm warning you, Su Yun. Don't think that only the East has experts, Zhuo Langyue said. Our ancestors in Huaxia have a saying, there's always someone better than you. Maybe you think you're strong enough to travel the world and dominate a region with your current strength. But I still have to remind you that there are some troubles that may mean death once you encounter them. While speaking, the domineering aura in Zhuo Langyue's body suddenly erupted. Without any warning, the immense pressure from the waves was simply not on the same level as the pressure that Su Yun had unleashed. The pressure released by Su Yun was absolutely nothing compared to the domineering aura released by Zhuo Langyue. Zhuo Langyue's domineering aura even made Su Yun, who was in the Grandmaster realm, feel a strong sense of suffocation. Although the domineering aura only lasted for a moment, Bai Xiaoye's face still paled a lot because of the suffocation just now. The gap between their strengths was completely incomparable. This was the terror of a profound sky realm expert. Now that he thought about it, Su Yun felt that Huang Fuguo's grandfather was much kinder. The Empress, one of the three sovereigns, was indeed worthy of her reputation. The other two must have terrifying strength to be on par with her. Apart from Huang Fuguo, there was only Mao Bo, who was rumored to have fought with his grandfather, Tai Sui. Could it be that Tai Sui's strength was also so terrifying? When Su Yun thought of this, he felt a little sad. When he was young and ignorant, it was Tai Sui who brought him up. However, he didn't even show any filial piety before Tai Sui passed away. Zhuo Langyue's domineering aura was just to let Su Yun know that he still had a long way to go before he could truly reach the peak of perfection. I heard from Xiaoye that you have a brother who is also quite strong. Zhuo Langyue said indifferently, why didn't he come with you this time? If you're going to the United States to do something dangerous, I suggest you bring a friend with you. Moreover, his strength can't be too weak. Otherwise, he'll drag you down. Sometimes, it's better to have someone to look after you. He has some personal matters to deal with. Su Yun said, I'll be careful on my own. Thank you for your concern, Sister Yu. Master, can I go with Su Yun? Bai Xiaoye suddenly asked. Zhuo Langyue glared at her. Of course not. She didn't even have the slightest intention to negotiate. Bai Xiaoye was frightened by her master's attitude. She was obviously asking for a scolding. Zhuo Langyue had previously emphasized that she shouldn't get too close to Su Yun. Not only did this little girl not listen, but she even made such a request. How could Zhuo Langyue agree? Of course not. Su Yun laughed. I'm not going on vacation. If I encounter something, it'll be very troublesome to bring a woman along. What right do you have to look down on me? Bai Xiaoye snorted. She didn't expect Su Yun to say this. Zhuo Langyue's aura didn't dissipate. What do you think you can do with your mediocre skills? Don't cause trouble here. Go back to your room. That Lin brat's strength is about the same as mine at most. Bai Xiaoye was unconvinced. Master, no matter what, I'm a Class 7 super expert. You've told me before that if I want to increase my strength, I need to go through trials and tribulations. If everything goes smoothly, it'll be hard for me to break through. I feel that this trip to America with Su Yun is a good opportunity for me to gain experience. I already said that you can't. Zhuo Langyue seemed to have lost her patience. Bai Xiaoye and Zhuo Langyue looked at each other. In the end, Bai Xiaoye gave up on arguing with her master. She pouted and left angrily. She really didn't understand. Her master clearly took care of Su Yun, but why didn't she let her get too close to him? Su Yun saw the conflict between the master and disciple and was slightly embarrassed. Sister Yu, you have to coax girls. This will only produce the opposite of the desired result. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave first. You can attend to your family matters. Su Yun, there's a reason why I can't let Xiaoye go with you. Zhuo Langyue said, but you better listen to me. It's better to have a helper than to go alone. Su Yun only laughed foolishly. Chapter 1104. Zhuo Langyue definitely wouldn't see him off. Su Yun got in the car. The perfume in the car smelled a little weird, but he didn't have time to care about it. He directly took out the sunglasses from the storage space under the center armrest and prepared them. Then, he rushed back to Yanjing. After arriving in Yanjing, Su Yun didn't go back to the hotel directly. Instead, he went to Pan Garden. For some reason, Su Yun felt that he came back very quickly this time. He didn't even feel that he had driven much. Ma San'er must have a lot of things to tell him now. After all, they were in the cultural relics business. After seeing today's news, they must be completely shocked. However, Su Yun believed in Ma San'er's eyes. Although he was famous for his nose, if he couldn't even recognize a person disguised as a living person, then he shouldn't be in this business. Su Yun's appearance really frightened Ma San'er. Oh my God! You think no one can recognize you just because you wear sunglasses? Now that you're in Pan Garden, you're here to attract attention, right? Ma San'er said as he closed the door. Don't tell me you're really that blind? Su Yun grinned. Ma San'er waved his hand. I can see it, but most people can't. It's obviously that little girl pretending to be you. Big brother Yun, that lass must have graduated from a professional film academy, right? Her expression, aura, and feeling are exactly the same as you. If it weren't for my sharp eyes that saw a small mole on the left side of her neck, I would have been fooled. Your eyes are not honest. She only came here twice, and you saw a small mole on her neck? Su Yun said, don't look at her like that in the future. This is a professional habit. You don't understand. Ma San'er said, looking at a customer's neck is the first habit I have when I enter the shop. It's easy to tell whether a person is rich or not by wearing jewelry. For example, some people come in wearing a gold necklace and deliberately show it to me. According to the gold price, when it's the most expensive, 50 grams of hollow necklace is thick enough, which is 20,000 yuan. But some women wear carat gold necklace. It looks cheap, but it's from Tiffany. A carat gold necklace with a small tag costs 20,000 yuan. However, those who wear carat gold are definitely richer than those who wear gold. Brother Yun, do you know why? Su Yun waved his hand. Okay. Don't explain it to me. I didn't say anything. Ma San'er became serious. I'm really good at judging people. If someone comes in with an LV and deliberately wants to show off, then they're pretending to be rich. If they carry an LV and put it on the ground, then they're either fake goods or really rich. If they only have a bag, then they're definitely pretending to be rich. If they're really rich, then they don't only have bags. They also have clothes and shoes. Shut up. Su Yun said, do you think I'm here to listen to a lecture? Hurry up and find something to dress me up. How can I not be recognized outside? I didn't even dare to go back to the hotel and came here first. I know you know some disguise skills. Hurry up and do it for me. You don't need to disguise yourself for such a small thing. I'll find you a headscarf and some punk jewelry. You'll instantly become a rock and roll youth. Even if you say you're a rich young master, no one will believe you. Ma San'er laughed. Rich young masters are all playing with girls. Who has the time to play rock and roll? Su Yun urged Ma San'er to talk less and do more work. Only then did Ma San'er hurriedly find him a headscarf and other random things. After dressing up, Su Yun really became a punk youth in Yanjing. Suddenly, the Qian outside the door rang loudly. Ma San'er thought it was some kid causing trouble and hurriedly opened the door. He saw Bai Xiaoye opening the back door and panting heavily. Ma San'er was stunned. Su Yun, you're really something. You said I was looking at a girl's neck, and you brought her back directly? Where's Su Yun? Bai Xiaoye asked as she tidied her clothes. Su Yun also came out when he heard the noise. When he saw Bai Xiaoye, his expression was even more shocked than Ma San'er's. That was because Bai Xiaoye had climbed out of his car. Why are you in my car? Su Yun was going crazy. If I wasn't hiding in your car, do you think my master would let me come out with you? Bai Xiaoye said disapprovingly. When did you come in? Bai Xiaoye shrugged. You don't need to know. Anyway, I was in your car. However, your vigilance is really average. If I was a bad person and wanted to assassinate you, you would definitely be dead. Su Yun finally realized why the perfume in the car smelled weird. It was Bai Xiaoye's doing. I sprayed some ecstasy powder in your car. Did you feel like you were in a daze all the way? I didn't even feel like I drove far before we reached our destination, Bai Xiaoye said proudly. Su Yun pointed at Bai Xiaoye helplessly. You're playing too much. Aren't you afraid that I'll get into a car accident because of your ecstasy powder? I won't be the only one who will be unlucky. We'll both be finished. Don't worry. This thing isn't that useful for an expert at your level. Bai Xiaoye smiled and looked at Ma San'er. It might be more useful for you. Then, Bai Xiaoye waved her hand. Su Yun smelled that weird smell again. Ma San'er rolled his eyes and was about to fall to the ground. If Su Yun hadn't caught him, Ma San'er would have really fallen to the ground. Where did you get this thing from? Isn't it too cruel? Su Yun asked. How is it? Do you feel like you need me? Bai Xiaoye raised her eyebrows. It's not easy to go out alone, especially when you're doing something big. Everyone knows that women are easier to handle than men. A capable woman is probably easier to handle than a man, right? Su Yun understood what Bai Xiaoye meant. So, you're really going to go to America with me? I haven't made any friends since I was young, Bai Xiaoye said. You can be considered my first friend. Now that you're in trouble, I'm stepping forward to help you. It's considered an emergency. That's true. Su Yun nodded. But have you ever thought that your master won't agree? Bai Xiaoye spread her hands. I'm already out. As long as you don't knock me out and send me back, my master can't do anything to me. You've grown up. Su Yun smiled. There would always be a day when a person would start to become disobedient. This was growth. Today, I just want you to say one thing. Do you need my help or not? Bai Xiaoye said. If you need it, I'll definitely help you. Good friends are loyal. If you don't need it, then I'll go back. It only means that you don't trust me, and we can't be friends in the future. So cruel. Bai Xiaoye nodded. Of course. What do you think? Since you don't trust me, why should I be friends with you? Then have you ever thought that when I said I don't need you to go, it's very likely that I want to protect you? I don't want you to go into danger with me. Su Yun said, does that count as not trusting you? I don't care. I just want to ask you one thing. Do you need it or not? Bai Xiaoye said, my skills are hard to come by, and I'm not as weak as you say. Even if there's danger, I won't be a burden to you. If you think I'll be in danger, then you don't trust me. Chapter 1105. Does that mean you've agreed to it? Bai Xiaoye had a smug expression on her face. She had followed her master for so many years, but she had never made a decision on her own. This time, she felt an indescribable excitement and joy from the bottom of her heart. Bai Xiaoye was excited about her courage. Su Yun bitterly smiled. If I'm not wrong, Your master doesn't want you to get too close to me. If she finds out that I took you away, even if she doesn't punish you, she will definitely cripple me. In your master's eyes, I'm nothing more than a three-legged cat. She can kill me with just a flick of her little finger, right? That's all you have? Bai Xiaoye was speechless. Su Yun, you disappoint me too much. I risked being beaten to death by my master to help you, but you don't dare to let me help you because you're afraid of my master. Are you a man? Can't you be a man? Su Yun was obviously a man. Even if Zhua Langyue said that she wanted to kill him, she wouldn't really kill him. However, if she said that she wanted to kill Su Yun, then she would definitely kill Su Yun. Even a fool would understand this logic. Forget it, forget it. I'm just unlucky. Su Yun said, at most, I'll be crippled by your master when I come back. She won't cripple you. Can't you see that my master admires you a lot? Bai Xiaoye said, I can see that every time my master sees you, her emotions are different. Anyway, how should I put it? Anyway, her feelings for you are different from ordinary people. She has a kind of F*ck, don't say that your master fell in love with me. Su Yun said, if she's angry at you, then she's jealous of you. Don't talk nonsense. Bai Xiaoye glared at Su Yun. If you talk nonsense again, my master won't need to do anything. I'll tear your mouth apart. Stop being so smug here. Just based on you, you want my master to take a fancy to you? TSK. You should also take a look at yourself in the mirror. Look at your own virtue. What do you have that can captivate my master? Su Yun looked at himself up and down. My virtue is not bad, right? I'm still very attractive to girls. Why? Don't you admit that you're a little obsessed with me? Infatuation my ass. Stop being so narcissistic. Bai Xiaoye was so anxious that her face turned red all the way to her ears. She really wanted to punch Su Yun. Su Yun smacked his lips. I've studied psychology before. Once you become angry out of humiliation, it means that you've been exposed. As long as you make a move, you'll admit it. Bai Xiaoye retracted her fist. Cut it out. Don't talk nonsense with me. Give me a straightforward answer. Do you dare to let me go with you? I dare. There's nothing in this world that I, Su Yun, don't dare to do. Su Yun. But. Phew. Bai Xiaoye was like a deflated balloon. No matter what it was, as long as the word "but" appeared, it was basically impossible. She could already imagine what Su Yun would say. Su Yun would definitely say, but your master has to agree. But you have to fight for your master's agreement. But, in any case, he wasn't going to take her with him. Humph, a grown man like him is so annoying. But after you go with me, you have to listen to my arrangements. All your actions have to be obedient. You can't let your emotions cause you to do whatever you want. If you encounter danger, you can't force yourself. As long as I tell you to give up, you have to give up. If I tell you to leave, you have to leave. No matter what happens, you can't turn back. Su Yun said, if you can promise me and guarantee that you'll do all these, I'll take you with me. Really? Bai Xiaoye's eyes lit up. She couldn't believe her ears. Su Yun nodded. Don't be so happy. If you can do all these, then I'll agree. If you can't, then I won't agree. Of course I can do it. I, Bai Xiaoye, am a woman of my word. Bai Xiaoye was excited. What can you do? Su Yun wondered if she had heard his request. I promise you that after we go, I'll listen to your arrangements and obey your orders. I won't let my emotions cause me to do whatever I want. If I encounter danger, I won't force myself. As long as you tell me to give up, I'll give up. As long as you tell me to leave, I'll leave immediately. No matter what happens, I won't turn back. Bai Xiaoye replied in one breath. Do you have anything else to add? Su Yun was speechless. This girl's memory and eloquence were really first-rate. Bai Xiaoye was very excited. She could finally get what she wanted. She could leave her master's control and do something she wanted to do. Although she knew that the consequences of sneaking out would be severe, she couldn't suppress her excitement. When are we leaving? Bai Xiaoye couldn't help but ask. Su Yun shook his head. I haven't received any news yet, so I don't know when we'll leave. Know yourself and know your enemy, and you'll never be defeated. Without any news, it's meaningless even if we go. Learn to wait. Learning to wait is a test of patience. Bai Xiaoye didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It's fine if I wait, but what if my master finds me? That's your problem. Su Yun said, this isn't something I can control. If I could deal with your master, why would I waste so much time talking to you? Bai Xiaoye sighed helplessly and shook her head. I don't care. Anyway, I'll go wherever you go. It should be fine as long as I follow you. Besides, I'll be worried if I don't follow you. What if you run away? Where am I supposed to find you then? Do I, Su Yun, look like someone who doesn't keep his word? Su Yun snorted. How about this? I'll take you to the hotel I'm staying at. You can accompany a friend of mine. Bai Xiaoye frowned. What friend? The only daughter of old Master Gu in Canada, Miss Gu, Su Yun said. Bai Xiaoye was obviously surprised. You've been living with the Miss of Canada all this time? Phew. No wonder you don't want me to go with you. Will my appearance disturb you? F***ck, you're thinking too much. Su Yun said, I'm on the same level as Lu Shuhui. Don't imagine me to be like Shiman Qing. Do you still want to go to America with me? Yes. Bai Xiaoye nodded. Shiman. Oh no, Lu Shuhui. Tell me. I won't think too much. Su Yun carried the unconscious Ma San'er into the shop and locked the door before taking Bai Xiaoye to the hotel. I think we work well together, Bai Xiaoye said. What do you think? Well, I think so too. Do you want to name a group? Su Yun smiled bitterly. You've heard of Little Apple, right? You know Old Boy, right? You've seen Fierce Dragon crossing the river, right? Let's just call ourselves White Tiger Brothers. That's terrible. Bai Xiaoye blushed. What White Tiger? That's not elegant at all. Su Yun grinned. I want an elegant name, but things like Phoenix Legend, Miracle of the Nine Moons, and other names like that aren't tiring. Can you not be so childish? What group name? I don't even want to go with you. Bai Xiaoye was speechless. Ahem, who was the one who said that after going with me, you have to listen to all my orders? Su Yun said, it's not too late if you don't want to go. Bai Xiaoye was speechless and didn't say anything. Well, why don't we call ourselves Little Apple Group? No matter how much I love you, I can never have enough of you, Su Yun said with a smug smile. Chapter 1106. She didn't care about the combination of names as long as she could go to America. This was the first time in her life that she would leave her master to do something she wanted to do. This was definitely an extraordinary growth for Bai Xiaoye. If we go, we won't bring Miss Gu with us, right? After returning to the hotel, Bai Xiaoye suddenly realized a problem. Let me say this first. I'm not going to America to be your nanny. If you only want me to take care of people, then I won't go. We haven't even moved yet, and you already have so many opinions. I think you shouldn't go with me. Su Yun said, otherwise, who knows what will happen when we get there. Stop it. Bai Xiaoye said, don't try to trick me into backing out. We're not going to America for a vacation. You won't bring Miss Gu with you, right? If they encounter any danger, it will be troublesome. I know what you're thinking. You'll only let them reunite after you've dealt with it properly. Su Yun glanced at Bai Xiaoye speechlessly. Why are you asking me when you already know? Can't you show your ability if you don't say a few words? Tisk. Bai Xiaoye rolled her eyes and said bitterly, do you think that Miss Gu is very pitiful now? Her father's whereabouts are unknown, and she doesn't know when they'll be reunited. She can only resign herself to fate and place all her hopes on others. Su Yun nodded. It's quite pitiful. If it weren't for some things, they wouldn't have gotten into trouble and wouldn't have encountered such a troublesome situation. I really feel that I've let them down. I'm much more pitiful than her. Bai Xiaoye said, at least she still has her father. Even if something happens to her father, she still has her memories and her father's love. As for me, I don't even know what a father's love is. I don't even know what my father looks like. I don't even have a picture of him. Those who didn't have this kind of experience wouldn't be able to understand this feeling, but Su Yun could clearly feel the helplessness in Bai Xiaoye's heart. This kind of helplessness could only be understood by those who had the same experience as them. That's right. Su Yun forced a smile, trying to pull back the atmosphere that was about to fall into the abyss. However, everyone is different, and fate is even more incomparable. If the children of ordinary families had to work hard, they would have to work hard for a lifetime. If they had enough to eat, drink, and spare money, it would be considered a success if they didn't starve to death. They were envious of those who were born with a silver spoon in their mouths. They had villas, luxury cars, all kinds of houses, and office buildings. It was guaranteed that they would not have to worry about food and clothing for the rest of their lives. But these rich second-generation heirs are also envious of those super-rich second-generation heirs. The moment they are born, they own some family company worth billions of shares. Even if they die of exhaustion on the road of consumption, they still have money to spend. Bai Xiaoye nodded. Although she didn't have parents, she was still much happier than those poor beggars on the streets. At the very least, she had a master that everyone envied. At the very least, the things she ate, drank, and wore for the past 20 years were all luxuries that ordinary people wouldn't even dare to dream of. Moreover, she had also cultivated a powerful strength that was enough to command a region. She wondered how many people were secretly envious of her, Bai Xiaoye. Fate was a very easy thing to understand. It was the past, present, and future of life. Fate couldn't be changed, but it could be changed because people couldn't see into fate. Fate was constantly changing. Fate existed in every corner, but it couldn't be touched. Fate was like a line that kept extending. The starting point was a line that was destined to be walked. This line was connected to countless branches. When you chose one of the branches with a certain attitude, fate would be decided. When you faced several branches again, your fate would be decided. Fate would then change. Confucianism said that fate was the view of destiny. Taoism said that fate was the view of natural destiny. Buddhism said that fate was the view of causality. Christianity said that fate was the view of God. Classical physics said that fate was the view of mechanical determinism. Quantum mechanics said that fate was the view of indeterminism and neutrality. Marxist philosophy said that fate was the view of historical determinism. Everyone had an understanding of fate in their hearts. Su Yun believed that fate was predestined, but he also believed that fate could be changed. Confucianism and Taoism philosophy said that man's determination could conquer the heavens. The cohesiveness and strength of humans could surpass the natural world. This was why humans were humans and not like other animals who listened to fate. After hearing what you said, I actually feel that I'm much luckier than Miss Gu. Bai Xiaoye stuck out her tongue. The two of them had already arrived at Gu Qia's room. Su Yun knocked on the door but didn't get any response. Su Yun took out his phone and called Gu Qia. The other party's phone was turned off. Su Yun knocked on the door 3 more times. Why are you still knocking? It's meaningless. Bai Xiaoye said as she took out a card from her pocket. This card obviously wasn't a room card, but the door opened with a light tap. Afraid that Su Yun would be confused, Bai Xiaoye explained, "Universal card. I've never met a hotel room door that couldn't be opened." F***ck Su Yun was so shocked that his eyes almost popped out. What kind of attribute did Bai Xiaoye have? Are you Doraemon or Doraemon? Universal card? F***ck. No one. Bai Xiaoye didn't have the time to think about Su Yun's inner thoughts. She had already walked into the room. After looking around, Bai Xiaoye pointed at a note on the coffee table. The girl seems to have left you a message. Su-yun quickly picked up the note. There was a paragraph of delicate handwriting on it. Su-yun, thank you for saving me. Thank you for taking care of me. Thank you for being so busy for me and the Great Circle. I know that I shouldn't be in a hurry and should wait patiently, but I really can't convince myself to keep waiting. I have a friend in Yenjing who helped me fake my identity and return to Vancouver with an overseas tour group. I need to know the situation at home as soon as possible, so I hope you can forgive me for leaving without saying goodbye. My father is the leader of the Great Circle. Now that something has happened to him, I have to step up and protect the rights of the Great Circle. I can't be a coward. Idiot. After Su-yun finished reading, he crumpled the note into a ball and threw it into the waste paper basket. Of course, he was angry. He had gone through so much trouble to save her from the Japanese, but she had left just like that. Even Su-yun had to consider the situation outside and how dangerous it was. She really didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Sigh, why do I feel that if I go with you, I might become a nanny and take care of someone? This Miss Gu is too difficult to take care of. Bai Xiaoye sighed. Sigh, I really want to leave. But now, it seems that you need me to go with you to help you. If I leave now, I won't be able to explain myself. Forget it. Bai Xiaoye was right. Su-yun originally thought that he could find a way to take care of Gu Chia. But now, it seemed that he couldn't even take care of Gu Chia without a helper. Xiaoye, I really have to thank you this time. Su-yun, as long as Su-yun comes back alive, I will thank you however you want me to. We can even go to Wangfu Hotel for a Manchu Han Imperial feast. You said it. Bai Xiaoye said. I haven't eaten a Manchu Han Imperial feast before. It's settled then. When we come back, I will treat you, and you will pay the bill. Chapter 1107. Because Gu Chia had left without saying goodbye, all his plans had been disrupted. Su-yun couldn't continue to wait for news in Huaxia. No matter when Matthew could get news from the US through his friends, Su-yun had to go to Canada first. He had to find Gu Chia and calm her down first. The flight to Vancouver had taken off an hour ago. Gu Chia probably got on that plane through her friend. Someone who could do this was definitely not a simple person. Gu Chia hadn't mentioned to Su-yun that she knew such a capable person. Su-yun asked about the airport and booked a ticket for the next day. This was the fastest he could do. There was a change of plans. After all, he had to go out to deal with this matter. Su-yun thought about it and didn't ask for leave from the main team in the end. He knew very well that once he called, his decision might change. Wan Guangxiao would never let him go to the US alone. The risk was huge. He should contact Matthew in private. Su-yun called Matthew and told him that he was leaving the next day. He also asked him to urge his friends in the US to help him find out what he needed to know as soon as possible. Matthew told Su-yun that his people had already started to look for Master Gu's whereabouts and would do their best. In any case, Matthew had already given his assurance, and Su-yun felt a little more relaxed. As long as she rushed to Canada before anything serious happened to Gu Chia, there shouldn't be any major problems. Hey, Su-yun, don't tell me you only got one room? Bai Xiaoye suddenly interrupted Su-yun's thoughts. Are you really having an affair with Miss Gu? Can you be a little more simple-minded? Don't think so dirty. Su-yun said, I am a dignified 7-feet-tall man like Lu Shui. How could I do such a despicable thing like what Shiman Qing did? You're underestimating me. Fine, fine, fine. I'm going to sleep here tonight. You can get another room. Bai Xiaoye said, look at the time. I want to take a shower. You should leave now. Su-yun pointed at the room and said, I seem to be the one who paid for this room. If you want to stay alone, you should be the one who paid for the room. I still have to go to Canada and America. I don't have much money in my pocket. You're from a big family, so please be more generous. Just treat it as helping me out. Su-yun was telling the truth. During the earthquake, he had donated all his money. There really wasn't much money left in the card in his pocket. The overdraft card was also returned to Wang Yi after he returned to the team. I came out in such a hurry. Do I look like someone who has money? Bai Xiaoye said, besides, even if I bring my card out, Master will be able to see every purchase. It'll be much easier for her to track me down. Also, if she knew that I snuck out, she would definitely freeze my credit card. I won't be able to use a single cent. So what you're saying is that you came out with a pair of hands and a single cent. Not a single cent? Su Yun said, I'm already being generous enough by buying you a plane ticket. You still want me to? Hey. I'm helping you. Shouldn't you be paying for it? Bai Xiaoye snorted. Have you seen anyone asking for help and asking them to pay for food, clothing, and accommodation? I've never seen that before. Su Yun shrugged. Fine, then we really have to save up. If we run out of money in America, we can't be beggars, right? Don't even open a room. I'll just make do with it. I'll be leaving tomorrow. You can sleep on the sofa, right? Are you a man? You're letting a girl sleep on the sofa? Bai Xiaoye snorted. The bed is mine. You can choose anywhere else. Also, if you dare to mess around at night, I'll cripple you. Su Yun snorted in disdain. Although Bai Xiaoye was definitely a devastatingly beautiful woman, Su Yun really didn't have any special thoughts about her. Perhaps it was because he had too many thoughts. I'm going to take a shower. If you dare to peek or barge in, my master will gouge your eyes out. Bai Xiaoye finally emphasized her threat. Su Yun waved his hand and said impatiently, Stop wasting time. I, Su Yun, still have a moral bottom line. Don't look down on me. No matter how strong a moral bottom line is, he's still a man. Bai Xiaoye said, My master said that she would rather believe that a sow can climb a tree and a non-swimmer can dive than believe a man's mouth. Your master has such a huge grudge against a man. How deeply did she hurt him? Su Yun said, Ayaya, this man is incredible. He even dared to deceive the Empress's feelings. His ending must be miserable, right? Will he die without a burial place, or will he never be able to turn over a new leaf? Bai Xiaoye shrugged her shoulders. I didn't dare to ask. However, I've observed my master's reactions and eavesdropped on her muttering. I think that man's current situation should be one where he will never be able to turn over a new leaf. Hey, Su Yun, why are you asking about everything? Let me tell you, don't spout nonsense. Su Yun shrugged and said, You're the one who's spouting nonsense, all right? I didn't ask that much. You're the one who doesn't watch your mouth. If your master finds out, you'll be the one getting beaten up. Surnamed Su. You. Bai Xiaoye thought for a long time and realized that she had nothing to say. She could only snort loudly, slam the door, and enter the bathroom. Su Yun sat cross-legged on the sofa to relax his muscles and bones from the past few days. He then directly fell asleep on the sofa. He didn't even know when Bai Xiaoye came out of the bathroom. When Bai Xiaoye came out of the bathroom and saw Su Yun sleeping like a dead pig, she was both amused and angry. What kind of person is this? My looks and figure are top-notch no matter where I go. The number of people turning their heads when I walk on the street is even higher than when you drive a limited edition Lamborghini. What are you still thinking about? You actually fell asleep while I was bathing. Su Yun, oh Su Yun, you're really like Lu Shoei. The night passed uneventfully. When the sun rose in the east, Bai Xiaoye yawned and stretched her body. As for Su Yun, he was nowhere to be found. By the time Bai Xiaoye finished washing up, Su Yun had already returned with some breakfast. Let's eat something simple. The buffet breakfast in this hotel is too expensive. It costs 58 yuan per person. Su Yun said, Let's have some Qing Feng buns. We'll be stuffed to death with 30 yuan. There are pork, onion, and garlic. Are you serious? You can't even afford a buffet breakfast for 58 yuan? Bai Xiaoye grew up with Zhuolang Yue and had no concept of money. She usually drove a Bentley, so it was obvious how extravagant her life was. Su Yun nodded. It's not that we can't afford it. Chinese people are particular about the rich and poor. We're going to leave soon, so we should save some money. Being thrifty is the traditional virtue of Huaxia's working people. Virtue? You don't have money. Why are only working people thrifty? Rich people like officials and bosses are the true virtues. Su Yun, I really have to hand it to you. Look at your titles. Instructor of the Dragon Fury team, chairman of the Sky Entertainment Group, boss of Xinkai Hotel. You're actually eating Qing Fong buns to save money. Bai Xiaoye shook her head helplessly. What's wrong with Qing Fong buns? All the bosses in Huaxia eat them. Su Yun, you should be happy. There are so many people in Huaxia who can't eat buns for breakfast. Let them be envious of you. I'm eating chive buns. You won't mind the smell in my mouth, right? What else could Bai Xiaoye say? She was completely speechless. Chapter 1108. The waiting time passed very slowly, especially for Bai Xiaoye. She was on tenterhooks. She was afraid that her master would find her. After all, she turned off her phone after she escaped. She believed that her master must have sensed it after last night. She only hoped that the plane would leave quickly. As long as it was in the sky, no matter how angry her master was, she could only let it go. She couldn't force the plane to land just because she was angry with her, right? You look very nervous. Su Yun noticed that Bai Xiaoye kept rubbing her hands. Only a nervous person would have such an unnatural reaction. If you're really afraid, then don't go. I'm serious. If you go in this state, I'm afraid that I'll have to take care of you. Are you kidding? I'm not afraid to go with you. Bai Xiaoye was honest. I'm afraid that my master will find the airport. If that happens, I'll be in trouble. You'll be in the same situation as me. You won't even be able to leave. Although Bai Xiaoye was exaggerating, if Zhuolangyue really found this place before the plane took off, the consequences would be serious. Even if Bai Xiaoye was willing, Zhuolangyue might suspect that Su Yun had kidnapped her disciple. Plane, oh plane, hurry up. There was another figure rubbing his hands at the airport. One was more nervous than the other, and one was more eager than the other. Perhaps their behavior was too suspicious, and it finally attracted the attention of the airport's security personnel. Nervous people usually had something wrong. After receiving the report from the airport security personnel, the airport's police quickly arrived at the scene. After observing Su Yun and Bai Xiaoye, they finally decided to investigate. When the police walked in front of the two and interrogated them, Bai Xiaoye's first reaction was to scold them for being crazy. There are so many bad guys in Huaxia. Why are you suspecting us instead of arresting them? Su Yun was a wily old fox. Of course, he knew that it was not worth it to offend the police. After all, they were law enforcement personnel. If they took you away for investigation and delayed the flight, you could only change your flight. He quickly suppressed Bai Xiaoye's emotions and stood up to explain to the police. Mr. Policeman, we're just waiting for the plane, Su Yun said. Do I look like a bad guy? You can't judge a book by its cover. Bad guys will never have a label that says I'm a bad guy on their faces. The policeman said, You're not young anymore, right? If you really don't feel like you're at a disadvantage, you can continue to call me uncle. However, if you call me uncle, I will still check you. Why are you inspecting us? Bai Xiaoye was unhappy. This is an illegal search. Do you have any evidence? Why are you searching us? The policewoman also came with them. Young lady, that's not right of you to say that. We will search you because we have the right to suspect any suspicious person. Since the country has given us this power, we have to enforce the law seriously. Recently, the country has been cracking down on drug and drug trafficking. We came to interrogate you because we found you suspicious. Bai Xiaoye was stunned. What do you mean? Are you suspecting that we are? Not just you guys, even if it's a celebrity, as long as it's suspicious, we'll take action. No matter what their background is. The leading policeman said, The news has reported a lot now, right? You should know that no matter if it's a famous screenwriter in the country, the son of an international superstar, a popular young actor of the new generation, or a famous actor, as long as it's related to drugs, we won't be soft-hearted and show no mercy. We'll definitely crack down on them. Su Yun listened to the policeman's righteous words and was quite impressed. Well said. So many anti-drug police officers work day and night to clean up drugs, go undercover, and catch countless heroes who have died for revenge. Even if they died, they can't be exposed and eulogized. They don't even dare to hold funerals or memorial services for fear of implicating their families. No one knows who they are, and no one takes care of the orphans and widows of the heroes. For these nameless heroes, we should strictly investigate drugs. Brother, tell me, who should we investigate? I'll help you investigate. It's even more shameful for celebrities to take drugs. They're idols. How can they be idols like that? Idols teach good things, not bad things. Idols endorse products so that their fans can use the same things as them. Idols do charity work so that their fans can do charity work with them. If idols take drugs, shouldn't their fans try it too? If idols break the law, they'll be punished the same as commoners. The policemen looked at each other. Such reasonable, logical, and bloody words were definitely not something a drug addict could say. Su Yun cooperated and stood up. I don't have any objections if you suspect me. Search me wherever you want. I'll definitely cooperate. I also hate drug dealers for doing things that harm others and themselves. I hate those who encourage others to take drugs even more. Suddenly, the airport broadcast announced that passengers flying to Vancouver had to prepare immediately. Just as Bai Xiaoye was helpless and wanted to ask Su Yun how to escape, the policeman patted Su Yun's shoulder heavily. Young man, if all the young people in Huaxia had such high ideological awareness like you, they wouldn't have given the drug dealers so many opportunities to take advantage of them. What you said just now was well said. Thank you, leader, for your affirmation. Su Yun nodded. All right, there's nothing else. You can go. The policeman said, don't be late. Thank you, leader, for your trust. Su Yun saluted and brought Bai Xiaoye to board the plane. The policewoman was a little surprised. Leader, you let them go just like that? We didn't check. Listen to what he said. Can a drug addict say something like that? The policeman said, also, when he left just now, didn't you see how accurate his salute was? This kid must have been in the army before. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so energetic. I believe him. I believe him. Since the investigation was fruitless, the policeman communicated with the airport security personnel and left. Although there were some twists and turns, Su Yun and Bai Xiaoye still boarded the plane successfully. Why are we so unlucky? We're just waiting for a plane, and the policemen want to check us, Bai Xiaoye said. I don't look like a bad person at all. It must be because of you. Phew, luckily it wasn't your master who came just now. Su Yun said, be content. This was not a big deal at all. We don't know what will happen when we get there. Bai Xiaoye yawned. She didn't sleep as well as Su Yun last night. After all, Su Yun was on the sofa in the room. How could she sleep well? I'll sleep for a while. Bai Xiaoye said, don't disturb me. Go to sleep. I knew you didn't sleep well. Su Yun knew that any girl with vigilance wouldn't be able to sleep well. After a series of bumps and shakes, the plane finally took off. Bai Xiaoye finally felt relieved. Master, I'm sorry. I'll apologize to you when I get back. Su Yun also found a comfortable position and closed his eyes to rest. There were many things in his mind. Big Circle was heavily damaged in Vancouver. Who could Gu Chia look for when she returned? Who could she look for? When would Kevin Matthew give him an answer? These were all things that Su Yun was concerned about. Sigh, forget it. Let's not think about it anymore. There will always be a way when the car reaches the mountain. This was an ancient saying from the ancestors of China. There must be some truth to it. Since God didn't starve blind sparrows to death, it meant that there was always a way out. Chapter 1109. It took them 11.5 hours to cover the distance of 8,460 roads. Although this speed couldn't be compared to Sun Wukong's somersault cloud, it was still much faster than taking a boat. The 16-hour time difference was indeed hard to get used to. They boarded the plane in Beijing at noon, but it was already past 8 in the morning when they arrived in Vancouver. Although they had closed their eyes to rest, it was impossible for them to fall into deep sleep. Bai Xiaoye still couldn't get used to the beautiful time when they just got off the plane. What should we do first? Walking out of the airport, Bai Xiaoye stretched and said to Su Yun, "Let's go to Gu Qia's house first. She arrived earlier than us. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I don't know how many hours, but she must be sleeping at home at night, right? She won't be stupid enough to go home directly. That would be like walking into a trap." Su Yun said, "The Japanese failed to catch Gu Qia, and I believe the Americans must know about it. The Gu family must be under the surveillance of the CIA. If Gu Qia goes home, she'll only be caught." Bai Xiaoye shrugged. "Maybe she's not as smart as you think. Maybe she's already been caught. Phew, things are more troublesome than I thought. Were you born in the year of the crow in your previous life?" Su Yun said, "Don't jinx it. It's already very troublesome that we can't find old Master Gu. If Gu Qia is caught by those agents, we'll be in big trouble." "Pfft, you're the jinx." Bai Xiaoye said helplessly, "We can't go to her house to find her, and we're worried that she'll be caught by the agents. You have to have a plan, right? We can't just run around like headless flies, right? Didn't you come to Vancouver before? Who are you looking for?" Su Yun thought for a moment and said, "Have you heard of a person, Rhodes Lavini?" "Of course. She's the leader of the Canadian Dark Angels. Who doesn't know?" Bai Xiaoye said in disdain. Then, she suddenly realized something and stared at him. "Come on, are you thinking of asking the Dark Angels to help you find the big circle? Are you crazy? 2 clubs with different standpoints? The Chinese have already touched the Dark Angels' cheese by establishing a large circle of clubs in Canada. You still want them to help? There's no such thing as an eternal enemy. I'm sure you've never heard of this famous saying." Su Yun shook his head. "Don't look down on me. Of course, I've heard that before. But what bargaining chips do you have to ask Rodnan Lavini for help?" Bai Xiaoye went straight to the point. "At the very least, you need a reason for him to help you, right?" Su Yun nodded. "That's right. That's why I can only go to his daughter and see if she's willing to help." Daughter of Rodney Levine. Bai Xiaoye had an incredulous expression on her face. This fellow's social circle is pretty wide. He even knows the daughter of the biggest society in Canada. As they spoke, a taxi arrived. Su Yun urged Bai Xiaoye to get in and asked the driver to take them to the golf course that Matthew had taken him to last time. Rodnan Lavini's daughter, Celine, was a golf fanatic. Su Yun had heard from Matthew that Celine was preparing to become a golf professional. To the golf course? Bai Xiaoye's heart was filled with all kinds of doubts. "You just need to follow me. Don't forget what you said. After we come out, you have to listen to my orders." "Su Yun, from now on, you're my assistant. You have to do whatever I tell you to do. Don't be arrogant. Follow me obediently and keep a low profile. Do you understand?" Bai Xiaoye crossed her arms in front of her chest. "Humph, so be it. What's the big deal? At most, I'll pretend to be deaf and dumb. If you want me to be your follower, that depends on your performance." The taxi went all the way to the golf course. Obviously, the driver knew who this place was and was very polite to Su Yun. As soon as the two of them got out of the taxi and walked to the entrance of the golf course, several burly men surrounded them. This golf course was the private property of the Dark Angel. It was Mr. Rodney Lavini's territory. Not just anyone could come and play here. "Hello, brothers. I'm here to look for Miss Celine. We have an appointment." Su Yun smiled at the members of the Dark Angel. These people were Celine's bodyguards. Hearing Su Yun's words, the burly men looked at each other. "My surname is Su Yun. You can ask Miss Celine. Soo-Yun, we have an appointment. Why? Didn't she tell you? Oh yes. I talked to Mr. Rodnan Lavini on the phone yesterday. Maybe Mr. Rodnan Lavini was too busy and forgot to tell Miss Celine. Hearing that this ordinary-looking Asian kid in front of them had talked to their boss on the phone, the attitude of the burly men obviously improved. The leader gave a look, and someone immediately ran to the golf course to ask Miss Celine. The rest of the people politely invited Soo-Yun and Bai Xiaoye inside. Bai Xiaoye whispered to Soo-Yun, "Aren't you a little too bold? What nonsense are you spouting? Do Rhodes and Lavini even know you? Just say that you talked to him. Aren't you afraid that you'll be exposed? When that time comes, the whole of Vancouver will dare to blacklist you. Wherever you go, people will chase after you. Then let's wait and see." Soo-Yun was confident that Celine would be polite to him even if it was because of Matthew. However, what Soo-Yun received was not a polite invitation, but a few black muzzles aimed at his head. This sudden change almost made Bai Xiaoye unable to control herself and want to attack, but Soo-Yun calmly suppressed her impulse. "Friends, let's talk things out. After all, I'm Miss Celine's friend. There's no need to use guns, right? Miss Celine didn't say you were her friend." The leader of the burly men shouted angrily, "Cut the crap. Let's go." "Where to?" Soo-Yun was stunned. Bai Xiaoye's eyes were piercingly cold. If they disagreed again, she would definitely cripple this group of people, regardless of whether Soo-Yun was willing or not. "We're going to see our miss," the burly man said. "Forget it." No matter what, he was connected to Celine. Even if someone pointed a gun at his head, it didn't matter. Okay. Let's go. After we meet, our misunderstanding will be resolved. Brother, be careful with your gun. Don't misfire. Soo-Yun smiled and tried to ease the atmosphere. Drawing swords at each other's throats wasn't the way to solve problems peacefully. Bai Xiaoye wasn't willing to accept this, but Soo-Yun repeatedly signaled her with his eyes to be patient. After all, this was other people's territory. Since they were guests, they had to be obedient. Under the threat of the guns, Soo-Yun and Bai Xiaoye were led to the golf course. At this moment, Celine was having a good time. She had to wake up early every day to play golf until 10 in the morning before going home for a beauty sleep. She wanted to become a professional golfer, and her father had agreed. Therefore, Celine planned to practice more this year and officially participate in the competition next year. Chapter 11:10. Soo-Yun and Bai Xiaoye were brought to Celine by a few people. Celine had already wiped her sweat and was sitting in a lounge chair, drinking coffee with a smile. "Miss Celine." Soo-Yun smiled. "You must have improved a lot. If you have time, let's spar and learn from each other. Soo-Yun, if your skills improve again, you won't even need to swing. You can make the ball go in with your mind, right?" Celine took a sip of coffee. "You left without saying goodbye last time, and now you're here so suddenly. Tell me, what do you want from me?" Before Soo-Yun could speak, Celine glanced at Bai Xiaoye and said, "Oh, so you brought a pretty girl with you this time. I know that you Huaxia people need to send invitations to your wedding. You're not here to send me an invitation, right? Miss Celine, you must be joking." Soo-Yun was afraid that Bai Xiaoye would explode, so he hurriedly said, "I'm not going to hide it from you. I'm really here to ask for your help." "Oh, Mr. Soo, please don't say that. Who are you to ask for my help?" Celine said meaningfully. "The Americans might not know, but I know. Kevin Matthews' disappearance in the United States must have something to do with you, right?" It seemed that this matter was not small. Soo-Yun didn't speak again. Since Celine said so, she obviously knew something. "If you're here to ask me about Daquan, I'm sorry, but I can't tell you anything," Celine said. "There's one thing that you should know without asking. Daquan is in deep trouble because of you. As for other things, I really don't know. Even if I knew, I wouldn't tell you anything. Doc Angel won't offend the Americans because of these things. We know how difficult it is to deal with American agents. Bai Xiaoye didn't have a good impression of this arrogant mixed-blood woman. What's so great about her? American agents are difficult to deal with, right? Humph, I really want to show you what a real problem is. I'm much more difficult to deal with than the American agents. By the way, Su Yun, is it true that you brought Kevin Matthew to Huaxia? Celine asked. She sighed. You really have some tricks up your sleeve. Su Yun smiled calmly. Miss Celine, you think too highly of me. It's Matthew's decision to go wherever he wants to go. No one can control him. If he wanted to leave America, even if I didn't know him, he would still leave. If he doesn't want to leave America, even if there are 20 more of me, I won't be able to kidnap him, right? Since this matter has nothing to do with you, why did you come to Canada? Celine asked. Let's put it this way. Just get straight to the point. Why are you looking for me? We are friends after all. I would like to ask Miss Celine for a favor, Su Yun said. Celine nodded. Since you've said so, I can't refuse. Indeed, we are friends after all. I can't refuse you directly. However, there's a condition. If you have something to ask of me, I can help you. However, it must not be related to Matthew, the American agents, or the Chinese community. As for the rest, I'll do whatever I can. Bai Xiaoye was speechless. I've already rejected everything I can. You might as well say that you don't want to help. What did she say? Celine's Chinese wasn't that good, and Bai Xiaoye's voice was soft, so she couldn't understand. Su Yun smiled and translated for her. She said that Miss Celine is really loyal. One look and you can tell that she's from the pugilistic world. Not only is she beautiful, but she's also very generous. Alright, although my Chinese isn't that good, I know that this lady didn't say so much, Celine said. Su Yun, you don't have to be like this. You're the lady, Bai Xiaoye muttered again. Celine's face was already ugly. Su Yun complained in his heart. Sigh, if I knew that Bai Xiaoye was so stubborn with her words, I wouldn't have brought you here. This is other people's territory, and I still have to ask for their help. Don't be so rude. Even if you don't want to be rude, they're still holding a gun to our heads. A wise man knows better than to fight when the odds are against him. Looks like I really don't have anything to help you with. Celine's face turned serious. I'm going to play. See them out. After a pause, Celine said, Su Yun, I'm being so polite to you and your friend today because of you. If your friend still doesn't know what's good for her, don't blame me for falling out with you. This is Vancouver, not Huaxia. You better make her remember what I said. I heard everything. I don't need him to translate for me. Bai Xiaoye could speak English. It's fine if you don't want to help, but why are you saying so many high-sounding words? You clearly know that we're here to ask for your help for a few things, but you're saying that you're only willing to help other than this. Isn't that hypocritical? Who are you calling hypocritical? Celine was furious, and so were her subordinates. They all pointed their guns at Bai Xiaoye. Bai Xiaoye wasn't afraid at all. You better tell your subordinates to put down their guns. I'm not sure if I can dodge so many bullets, but I'm warning you, I'm sure I can kill you before I get shot. If you don't believe me, you can let your subordinates try. A threat, such a direct threat. Celine was the lady of the Dark Angel. How could she fall for Bai Xiaoye's tricks? Stop. Su Yun stood up in time to stop the war. Miss Celine, please forgive me for not teaching my subordinates well. Then, Su Yun turned to Bai Xiaoye and said, If you feel wronged, you can leave. I'm not the one begging you to come with me to help me. It's fine if you don't want to help, but don't cause trouble for me. How is this causing trouble? Look at their attitude. Bai Xiaoye said angrily. Su Yun said, I know you've never been bullied like this since you were young. You've always been by your master's side, and no one dares to be disrespectful to your master. But you're not with your master now, and no one is asking your master for help. No one is spoiling you. Do you think I like to ask for help? But if I don't ask the Dark Angel for help, when will I find Gu Chia? She might already be dead by the time I find her. If everyone in the Gu family is dead, then what's the point of me coming here? Do you understand why I'm here? Seeing that Su Yun was a little angry, Bai Xiaoye realized her stubbornness. Yes, I'm here to do something. I understand. Bai Xiaoye finally calmed down and quieted down obediently. Celine's anger dissipated when she saw that Su Yun had tamed the girl beside her. Miss Celine, I really need help, Su Yun said. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come here. Everyone knows that the circle is in this state because of me and Matthew. Gu Chia almost died in the East China Sea. She has returned to Vancouver and needs my help. I'm worried that she will be in danger if she acts recklessly. But I don't have any clues to find her. I know what the Dark Angel is capable of in Vancouver, so I came to you. Celine saw that Su Yun was being sincere, so she couldn't say anything else. Su Yun, I understand what you mean. But I've also made it very clear that I won't let the Dark Angel offend the Americans because of the circle. The American agents are really troublesome. I don't want to provoke them, and I don't want the Dark Angel to offend them because of this. So, I can only apologize. I really can't help. Chapter 11:11. Celine was immediately surrounded by many bodyguards. All the bodyguards loaded their guns. Although it was an emergency, they were all looking for the shooter's position calmly. Because the muzzle of the gun was muffled, it was difficult to identify where the shot was fired. Celine was indeed the daughter of the leader of the Dark Angels, Rhodes Levine. Even if the bullet hit the coffee cup less than half a meter away from her, she could still remain calm. Of course, the bodyguards had already formed a meat shield around her. She really had nothing to worry about. Even if the other party wanted to kill her, they would at least kill the 5 bodyguards around her first. In addition to the 5 bodyguards, there were also more than 10 members of the Dark Angels. They all took out their pistols to search for the shooter's position. Everything happened too suddenly, and it more or less caught everyone off guard. Su Yun and Bai Xiaoye also reflexively found cover. After all, they were experts. They more or less had a rough idea of where the gunshot came from. From the direction of the coffee cup, they could roughly determine that direction. Just as everyone was searching for the shooter, a bullet suddenly pierced through the head of a member of the Dark Angels. The tall and burly man fell to the ground. His brain blood dyed the green space under his feet red. Everyone aimed their guns in the direction where the bullet came from. Although the gun had a silencer, it was still easy to determine the shooter's direction based on the direction of the person who was shot. Su Yun was shocked. That's not right. The direction of the shot was completely opposite from the direction of the coffee cup. The other party was definitely not one person. There must be 2 or more people. Of course, this could also basically rule out the possibility that the other party was an assassin. 99.9% of assassins acted alone. It was rare for them to form a team. It was the same principle as a game. It was not like killing monsters and clearing dungeons. In order to kill the final boss, it was best for one person to play dirty and kill in one shot. Those who formed a team to kill were definitely feuds. It must be people from 2 gangs who hated each other to a certain extent. Only then would they form a team to kill an important person from another gang. Most of the time, there was a connection between the game and reality. From this point, Su Yun could determine that the person hiding in the dark shooting was not a hired professional assassin. Basically, he was sure that the person was sent by a rival gang. At this moment, a 3rd gunshot was heard. Another Dark Angel member who was searching the periphery was hit in the chest and fell to the ground. It could be seen that these people that the other party had arranged were really good at shooting. 3 shots killed 2 people, one in the head and the other in the chest. The one who hit the coffee cup must have been the best at shooting, which was why he was arranged to shoot Celine. However, he made a mistake. There was only one explanation, and that was that he was the furthest away from this point. BBBB. Bai Xiaoye hid behind a bunker and called out to Su Yun, "What's going on? Why is it like they're filming a crime movie?" They shoot whenever they want and fight whenever they want. They don't even give us any time to prepare. Why are we so unlucky?" They were quite unlucky indeed. They came to ask Celine for help, but they ran into people who were planning to assassinate her. "Let's get ready to escape. This is a dangerous place, and we can't stay for long." Bai Xiaoye, like Su Yun, basically judged the situation and quickly planned an escape route. It was not good to stay in a dangerous place for long, but this was also an opportunity for Su Yun. The fourth and fifth shots came quickly, and one Dark Angel member after another fell to the grass. Even some of Celine's bodyguards had been shot. The other party's bullets were faster and faster, and more were shot. Su Yun could tell that there were at least 3 people shooting at the same time, and the gunman who had wanted to kill Celine from the very beginning had not fired a single shot after that. He seemed to be waiting for a chance to kill her in one shot. If Su Yun stepped forward to save Celine's life at this time, Celine would probably not have the nerve to reject their request, right? Su Yun gave Bai Xiaoye a look. Of course, Bai Xiaoye understood. "No way. You came to ask her for help, but she ignored you. You actually want to play the hero and save the damsel in distress? I'm really speechless." "Saving a life is better than building a 7-floor pagoda," Su Yun said. "With the 2 of us working together, these gunmen won't be a problem. I'll leave the 2 people in the 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock to you. I believe in your ability. Leave the rest to me. Get ready to move. When we're done, I'll treat you to Western food at the most famous restaurant in Vancouver." What could Bai Xiaoye say? Since they were out, she had to listen to Su Yun. "You said it yourself. Don't be stingy with money. If you make me eat instant noodles, I'll beat you up." The situation was already very urgent. Celine had 5 bodyguards and 11 normal bodyguards with her when she came out to play, but now there were only 4 bodyguards and 1 normal bodyguard left. Just as Su Yun and Bai Xiaoye started to move, another bodyguard was shot in the head and killed. They were either dead or injured. No matter how fearless Celine was in the face of danger, her expression began to change. There were only 4 people left. With the opponent's shooting accuracy, it would only take 4 to 6 bullets to finish off all her bodyguards. At that time, she would be a general without an army, at the mercy of others. At that moment, Celine thought of Su Yun. When she wanted to call for help, she found that Su Yun had disappeared. D****. This guy is really disloyal. He runs away when he's in trouble. He's not loyal at all. Celine despised Su Yun fiercely in her heart, but in that moment, 2 more gunshots rang out, and 2 more people fell beside her. Now, only Lider and Bargolia were left by her side. It seemed that nothing could be changed. "God, if you want me to die, then I'll just die." Celine had given up on the illusion of life. However, there were no more gunshots, and Lider and Bargolia did not fall after being shot. A few minutes later, 2 figures, a man and a woman, each dragging 2 people, walked towards Celine. Just as Lider and Bargolia were about to shoot, Celine shouted, "Put the guns down." The man and woman were Su Yun and Bai Xiaoye. The 4 people they were dragging were the 4 gunmen who were hiding in the dark and shooting. Obviously, all 4 of them had been knocked unconscious. Celine was touched. She didn't expect that Su Yun would still choose to save her when she was in danger, even though she had been so merciless just now. Thinking about what she had done just now, she really shouldn't have done that. The 2 bodyguards opened their mouths wide in surprise. They didn't expect the man and woman to be so strong. So many of them had been beaten to death or injured, but this man and woman had quietly solved all the problems. "Celine, you must have offended someone. You can interrogate them when they wake up." Su Yun threw them in front of Celine. "With such a big thing happening, I think you should call your father and tell him." Celine was so touched that she didn't know what to say. "Su Yun, thank you." "You're welcome," Su Yun said. "It's nothing. I don't want to cause any misunderstandings or trouble, so I'll take my leave first." After Su Yun finished speaking, he was really ready to leave. Bai Xiaoye scolded him for being an idiot in her heart. Now was the time to talk about conditions. Wait a minute. Celine suddenly called out to Su Yun. I'll take what you said to heart. Once I have news of Gu Chia, I'll let you know immediately. Give me your contact information. Chapter 11-12. Su Yun smiled. I don't mind leaving a way to contact you, but if I'm not wrong, these gunmen aren't the only ones who want Miss Celine's life. I think your father must have offended someone recently. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done such a thing. If Miss Celine wants to go home safely, I think I might be able to stay by your side and help. Bai Xiaoye rolled her eyes angrily. Are you crazy? She has 2 bodyguards with her. Just tell them to drive away quickly. Why are you still meddling? Do you have a lot of free time? Celine really didn't expect Su Yun to be so loyal. Su Yun's loyalty to her really made Celine's face heat up. She didn't know what she should say or do to make up for her attitude towards Su Yun and the others. If you want to go, you can go by yourself. I'm not going. It was dangerous enough just now, Bai Xiaoye said. Don't forget why you're here. You're not here to clean up the mess of the Dark Angels. Bai Xiaoye was right. Su Yun also knew that he wasn't here to clean up the mess of the Dark Angels. However, only with the help of the Dark Angels could he determine if Gu Chia was in Vancouver as soon as possible. If she was, he could find her as soon as possible and ensure her safety. Although it seemed that Su Yun was helping the Dark Angels' young lady and protecting her safety, in reality, he was here to do it. In fact, he was here for his real purpose. Many things are like this. If we go straight for this purpose, it'll backfire and we won't get any results at all. However, if we go in a different direction and borrow their strength, we might get a better result. The logic was simple, but most people didn't understand it. I'm sorry. I've caused you trouble. Celine said to Su Yun, no matter what, I thank you for helping me. If you hadn't saved me, I might have died now. Even if you leave now, I have no right to blame you. Really? Su Yun pulled Bai Xiaoye over and said to Celine, don't listen to her nonsense. She was just venting. Where's your car? We'll leave immediately. I'll drive, and she'll take care of you. Su Yun raised his eyebrows and looked at Bai Xiaoye. Bai Xiaoye wanted to refuse several times, but she was suppressed by Su Yun's gaze. Okay, I'll listen to you. That's a good boy. You just need to remember your promise to me, Su Yun said. Come out and listen to me. You have to do what you said. Celine couldn't care less. It was better that Su Yun was there to save her. Together with the 2 surviving bodyguards, Lider and Bagalia, they quickly made their way to the parking lot. The 2 bodyguards got into an Audi Q7 without hesitation. Celine hurriedly took out her car keys and handed them to Su Yun. It wasn't the sports car that Celine drove last time, but a huge Cadillac full-size SUV with a 6.2-liter engine. Celine probably didn't drive this car, and she needed bodyguards to sit in the back. That was why she got such a big car. A big car was comfortable to sit in, but it definitely wasn't as flexible as a small car. The small steel cannons on the market that cost more than 200,000 yuan were definitely easier to drive than the medium and large cars that cost 500,000 yuan. After Lider started the car, he quickly backed it back. Bagalia jumped out of the car and threw the unconscious guys that Su Yun and Bai Xiaoye had made into the car. These guys must be brought back for interrogation and then tortured to death. They actually killed so many of the Dark Angels. They were simply too audacious. After seeing that Lider and Bagalia were done, Su Yun quickly started the car and rushed to Celine's house under her guidance. Bai Xiaoye and Celine didn't like each other from the beginning, so even if they were sitting in the back, they didn't say a word. There was no common language at all. The reason why she was sitting next to Celine to protect her was entirely because of Su Yun. Sure enough, things were as Su Yun had guessed. The other party came prepared and went all out. Although the 4 gunmen were taken care of, several cars suddenly appeared on the road. Su Yun looked in the rearview mirror a few times and was completely sure of the answer in his heart. Bai Xiaoye also looked out the window a few times and said to Su Yun, "We're being targeted." What should we do? Run, of course, Su-yun said. In the blink of an eye, the fastest approaching Ford Explorer had already begun to hit the parking spot of Su-yun's Escalade. Clang! Although it was a very slight collision, the external force of the car driving at high speed still shocked Celine into a cold sweat. Fortunately, Su-yun had a tight grip on the steering wheel. Su-yun and the others were in no danger, but the Audi Q7 driven by Leiter wasn't so lucky. It was surrounded by 3 cars. No matter how good the car was, it would lose control after being hit from the left or the right. Leiter couldn't slow down and stop. If he did, he would definitely be besieged by the other party and it would be impossible for him to escape. It was under such high-speed impact that the Audi Q7 driven by Leiter suddenly rolled over. The whole car rushed off the road and rolled several times in a row. Black smoke billowed out, and without giving the people in the car a chance to escape the scene, it exploded with a bang. The last 2 bodyguards were also dead. They were the 2 people who had protected Celine since she was a child. No matter how numb Celine's heart was, she couldn't help but tear up. F***ck. Did they have to be so ruthless? Su-yun hugged the steering wheel tightly. Fortunately, the car built by Lao Meizi was powerful enough. The 6.2-liter V8 engine had more than 400 horsepower. The power alone wasn't enough to explain everything. The engine also had a maximum torque of 565 Nm, which could accelerate this steel machine weighing more than 2.5 tons to 100 km per hour in 7 seconds. After the Audi Q7 rolled over, Su-yun stepped on the accelerator even harder. He didn't want to end up like that Audi. Su-yun knew very well that no matter what kind of car it was, it would lose control and roll over when it encountered continuous deliberate collisions. It had nothing to do with whether the car was good or bad, and it had nothing to do with driving skills. Run. There was only one thought in Su-yun's mind. But after all, it was a full-size SUV weighing more than 2.5 tons. It was impossible to get rid of the other party's car quickly. After all, the other party's cars that were chasing after them were all very good cars. Su-yun tried to drive his car in an S-shaped route to prevent the other party from overtaking him. If they wanted to rear-end him, Su-yun wasn't afraid at all. After all, his car was big, and there was no one behind him. He couldn't hurt anyone at all. As long as he wasn't overturned by the other party's cooperation, nothing would be a problem. Even with Su-yun's careful driving, there was still a Lexus that rushed into the right lane of Su-yun's car. F***ck. Although this car was definitely a luxury brand, it was still a Japanese car. The quality of Japanese cars was good, but they were also known for their poor resistance to collisions. If it had been a Ford or a Jeep, Su-yun might not have dared to hit it head-on. But since it was a Lexus, then don't blame him for not holding back. Su-yun found a neutral gear and held the steering wheel tightly. Suddenly, he twisted the car and accelerated. Celine and Bai Xiaoye only felt a sudden jolt. The Lexus lost control for some reason and flipped continuously off the road. In the end, it flipped over and landed on the side of the road. Chapter 11:13. Although Su-yun had taken care of one of their cars, the other party was still fearless. Instead, they chased after them even more crazily, and some of them even started ramming into their car. This kind of behavior would definitely hurt the car behind, but Su-yun would still be affected. After all, after a high-speed car was hit, the wheels would always lose control, and its grip would also be affected. Fortunately, Su-yun had a firm grip on the steering wheel. He really wished that he was driving a Santana with manual transmission. Although the technology was far inferior to the Escalade, a small car was much more agile than this wide and fat car. It would not be like Su-yun, who could only step on the accelerator all the way to the end. Whether they could escape or not, they could only leave it to fate. Just then, a gunshot rang out, and the bullet hit the car. The crisp sound of the bullet hitting the car sounded so unpleasant and moving. F***ck. You can't catch up, so you're shooting. If the bullet hit the fuel tank, no matter how capable they were, they would still be blown to death in this car. They would end up like the people in the Audi Q7. They wouldn't even have a complete corpse, and they wouldn't even have to send them to the crematorium. Don't worry, this car has been modified. Even the tires are bulletproof, Celine said. Then, she took out a few weapons from the back seat. There were pistols and submachine guns, and she handed one to Bai Xiaoye. Do you know how to use it? Have you used a pistol before? After all, there was a difference between Chinese and Western culture. In Huaxia, 99.8% of the time, it didn't mean shooting with a pistol. Bai Xiaoye's face turned red, but she quickly recovered. Of course. But Bai Xiaoye holstered the pistol behind her waist and picked up a submachine gun. At times like this, I prefer to use this. As soon as she finished speaking, Bai Xiaoye rolled down the window and leaned out half of her body. She held the submachine gun firmly with both hands and aimed at the front wheel of the Ford closest to them. Then, she started shooting wildly. The two front wheels of the speeding Ford burst at the same time. The car was completely out of control, and the rear of the car swung heavily to the side. It even knocked over another Toyota that was following closely behind. Seeing that they also had guns, the other party aimed at Bai Xiaoye and fired wildly. Fortunately, Bai Xiaoye turned around in time, or she would have been turned into a dice. Poor Su Yun, who was driving, had his head lowered the whole way. He didn't have a choice. Bullets didn't have eyes. If someone pierced through the back of his head, his death would be too light. Speeding all the way, there was a hail of bullets along the way. This road chase was directly interpreted as a Hong Kong police and bandit movie battle. Although it was not as gorgeous as the movie, it was expensive because it was real. The sound of bullets hitting the car was definitely not pleasant to hear. No matter how bulletproof a car was, there would always be a time when it would be penetrated, right? Once the two sides fired at each other, the crosshairs were basically gone. No one dared to stick their head out to look for a headshot. They could only stick out their guns and shoot randomly. When Celine saw that Bai Xiaoye had destroyed two of the enemy's cars, she naturally didn't want to be outdone. She held a submachine gun in one hand and a gun in the other. She didn't even look as she shot out of the window. Fortunately, there were very few people in Canada, so there were very few cars on the road. She didn't have to worry about hurting innocent people. Although Celine's shooting was purely a waste of bullets, it really had a deterrent effect. At least, no car dared to catch up with them and cause a collision. However, shooting like this was a waste of bullets. Soon, all the weapons in the car were out of bullets. However, Su Yun, who was only responsible for driving, still got enough opportunities. This old American luxury car brand really didn't disappoint Su Yun. It was really tough. After a crazy collision, Su Yun finally killed his way out of the encirclement and forced a path out. Finally, Celine saw hope. Once they entered her territory, she didn't have to worry anymore. Her father's people would immediately realize that something was wrong. There was only one end for these people who chased after them. That was death. However, the other party didn't do as Celine hoped. After seeing Su Yun driving the Escalade into the hinterland of Rode Lavini's private residence, they all slammed on the brakes, turned around, and quickly left without any hesitation. When Rode Lavini's people rushed over with firearms to support the young lady's car, the other party's people had all evacuated. Damn! How did those bastards know that there was an ambush here? I didn't even see it, Su Yun said in surprise. Once they enter here, they will enter the hinterland of my home, Celine said. I think they should know this. Since they knew this, it was obvious that the other party was familiar with the Dark Angel. Su Yun had doubts in his heart. Since they were familiar with the Dark Angel, they should know very well that the Dark Angel couldn't be provoked. Then, why would they take such a big risk? They were so ruthless, their firepower was so fierce, and the people who came out to do things were so reckless. If they were to show their strength, it would seem that they were not weaker than the Dark Angel. Bai Xiaoye finally heaved a sigh of relief when there was no danger. She didn't even want to look at Su Yun now. It didn't matter if they saved people, but they had almost lost both their lives. What was this? This was not how Lei Feng learned. Finally, the car was stopped by two strong white men. Celine rolled down the window and said sternly, Where's my father? I want to see him. I was almost killed just now. Hearing that the young lady had almost died, the members of the Dark Angel were really terrified. After getting out of the car, Su Yun and Bai Xiaoye followed Celine all the way to the huge villa in front of them. Rode Lavini was shocked to hear that his daughter had encountered such a big thing. His anger was quickly directed at Su Yun and Bai Xiaoye. After all, so many of his subordinates had died, but his daughter had two people who were still alive. How could he not be suspicious? Rode Lavini could become the #1 figure in Canada's Dark Angel. He was definitely outstanding in shrewdness and scheming. Su Yun had long figured this out. Therefore, before entering the house, he secretly told Bai Xiaoye that Rode Lavini was definitely an old fox, and that they had better be careful. Sure enough, the old fox turned hostile at once. His subordinates suddenly attacked Su Yun and Bai Xiaoye. Su Yun wasn't going to be courteous with these small fries. Before the guy who pounced at him could even swing his fist, he was kicked several meters away by Su Yun's heavy foot before he fell heavily to the ground. Bai Xiaoye didn't show any mercy. With a simple grab, she directly broke the attacker's wrist. She lifted her knee and hit the opponent's ribs under his armpit. Then, she threw the person out and slammed him against the wall. "Stop it, all of you!" Celine suddenly roared at her father's men who were about to give it a try. She then turned to Rodnan and Lavini and asked, "Dad, they saved me. How can you let your men do this to them? They are my friends." Rode Lavini frowned. He was shocked by Su Yun and by Xiaoye's skills. The two of them were really extraordinary. Your bodyguards are all dead, but these two outsiders brought you back unscathed. Celine, how can I not suspect your two friends? Rode said, "There's an old saying in the East, you may know a person's face but not his heart. How can I believe that they didn't plan this just because I met them once? What if their real purpose is to kill me?" This question really stumped Celine. Su Yun was about to explain, but Bai Xiaoye suddenly took out a pistol from behind her waist. She skillfully unlocked the safety and loaded the gun. With a bang, she shot at the crystal chandelier on the ceiling. The chandelier on the ceiling fell to the ground with a bang. The crystal ball scattered all over the floor like a bead with a broken string. I'm really grateful for everything you and Su Yun have done for me. Please stay and give me a chance to thank you. Ouch. Bai Xiaoye was definitely the first person who could make Miss Celine of the Dark Angel apologize so humbly. Not to mention the members of the Dark Angel, even Rodnan Lavini couldn't believe his ears. Was that what his daughter said just now? It was too unbelievable. Although Bai Xiaoye looked cold and arrogant, her ears weren't hard enough. She was too embarrassed to lose her temper after hearing Celine's words. I didn't mean that. I just felt that I didn't get the respect I deserved, Bai Xiaoye said. Bai Xiaoye said, if you help someone and are still suspected, you'll definitely feel uncomfortable. Put yourself in their shoes. Celine nodded. Yes, you're right. Put yourself in their shoes. F***CK, what the hell is going on? Celine is such an unreasonable lady of the Dark Angel, but she can actually talk about something so profound with Bai Xiaoye in such a calm manner. This really shocked Su Yun. Even Rodnan Lavini couldn't believe that she had such a sensible daughter. Dad, they need help, Celine said. Although I know this favor is indeed beyond our principles, I didn't agree to it. But at that time, I didn't agree to it, and they didn't hit me when I was down. They even risked their lives to save me. So, I don't care about principles. I have to help them. Bingo! Su Yun secretly snapped his fingers. This was the effect he wanted. As long as Celine spoke, it would be difficult for Rodnan Lavini to say no. Everyone in Canada knew that Rodney Levine doted on his only daughter. Sure enough, Rodnan Lavini nodded. If there's anything you need me to do, just let me know. We just want you to help us find someone. Bai Xiaoye was in a good mood. Celine smiled and interrupted Bai Xiaoye. Let me say it, in case my father gets angry and scares you. Rodnan Lavini's expression changed when he heard this. Why did his daughter say that? It's been a few days since Gu Gualong of the Big Circle was taken away by American agents, Celine said to her father. Rhodes and Lavini frowned. If you want me to help you find Gu Gualong, I'm afraid I can't help you with that. Gu Gualong of the Big Circle can't still be in Vancouver. He must have been taken away by the Americans. The Dark Angel has a wide network in Canada, but it doesn't apply in the United States. So, it's not that I don't want to help you, but that I really can't help you. Dad, let me finish, Celine said. They don't want you to help them find Gu Gualong, but Gu Gualong's daughter, Gu Chia. After a pause, Celine continued, when the Americans took Gu Gualong away, Gu Chia wasn't in Vancouver. Su Yun said that she just came back yesterday. She must be looking for her father. Dad, if we can find her before the Americans find her, we will be doing Su Yun a great favor. Celine had expressed herself very clearly about such a small matter. There was no need for Su Yun to add anything. Su Yun's eyes fell on Rodnan Lavini, waiting for him to say something. Rodnan Lavini thought for a moment and finally looked up. Celine, do you know that we are going against the Americans by doing this? If we go against them, we, the Dark Angel, will not have a good ending. Their agents and special operations forces have received quite systematic training, and we... Dad, don't say so much. Are you helping or not? Celine said. I know all the things you said. If you don't want the Dark Angel to get involved in this mess, then I will help them myself. You help? How can you help? What do you have? It's not that easy, Rodnan Lavini said. Besides, you are being hunted down now. I don't even have a clue about the other party. I really don't have the energy to do anything against the Americans. I hope you understand, Dad. Celine was really disappointed, very disappointed. Rodnan Lavini couldn't bear it and added, I know you will blame me. Is this okay? After I solve our own problems, we will first solve the problem of who wants to assassinate you. Then we will talk about this matter because we really don't have the energy now. You don't have to worry about my business, Celine said. Su Yun suddenly said, Mr. Rodnan Lavini, do you really have no clue about what happened today? If you really have no clue, maybe I can help you. Really? Rodnan Lavini's eyes lit up. He had seen Su Yun's skills. This kid was definitely not simple. If you can help me, then I promise you that I will help you find Gu Chia's whereabouts. It's a deal. Su Yun smiled. Chapter 11:15. A promise made by a man was a man of his word. Su Yun stood up and looked around the villa. Mr. Rodney Levine, how much of the hinterland around this villa is your personal territory? Very much. It's my territory since those cars didn't dare to chase after you. Rodney Levine said, if they dared to chase after you at that time, they would have been blown to ashes by my people. How many people know about this? Su Yun said lightly, at least when I walked to that place, I didn't know that I had entered your territory. I believe that most people don't know about this kind of thing. Those who know that this place is your territory must have heard you talk about it before and have been to this place before. Otherwise, how could they know? Rodnan Lavini's expression changed instantly. His cold eyes glinted coldly. You mean, the person who did this to Celine is someone who is familiar with me, and may have even come to this place with me, and heard me talk about this territory of mine? Su Yun shrugged and spread his hands. Needless to say, only those who have heard from you and your own people can know these things. It's impossible for outsiders to know. What a simple truth. Mr. Rodney Levine, if I'm not wrong, there must be someone who knows all this. He must have had a conflict of interest with you in the past few days, or some kind of conflict of common interests. Su Yun said, and in this conflict of interest, the one who gets the most out of it is you, Mr. Rodney Levine. So, Rodney Levine's face was getting paler and paler. Su Yun's inference was indeed what happened a few days ago. 2 years ago, he and his old friend, Peter Launchen, the leader of the Knights Templar, developed a project about tourism, shopping malls, and housing. Their purpose was very clear, which was to earn money from the pockets of the rich people who traveled abroad in Huaxia. But a week ago, they had some conflicts on this project. The money in the pockets of these Huaxia rich people was often not obtained through normal channels, so they squandered money like water without any hesitation. They would buy whatever was expensive or luxurious. In short, in the eyes of these Huaxia people who went shopping abroad, money was not money at all. He didn't even blink when he swiped his card. He spent more than 100,000 USD as if nothing had happened. However, everyone also knew that the gap between the rich and the poor in Huaxia was very obvious. In 1983, a certain Comrade Ping came to power and announced that the Huaxia movement would lead to a socialist society with Huaxia characteristics. He wanted some people to get rich first. Then, as expected, some people became rich first. This was a good thing. Huaxia's reform and opening up had undergone earth-shaking changes, and the people's living standards were also flourishing. However, this group of people who became rich first did not turn back to help those who did not become rich. Instead, they only cared about continuing to become rich. As a result, the gap between the rich and the poor in Huaxia became huge. To be honest, the gap between the rich and the poor in a socialist society far exceeded that in a capitalist society. It was simply a joke. Fortunately, in 1993, another Comrade Ping appeared. Would he change this situation? At least now, it seemed that many people who did not understand the source of their wealth were beginning to be afraid. This fear was also expressed in their shopping sprees abroad. It seemed that only by spending this money would they not be investigated and killed in their hands. Rhodes, Lavini, and Peter Lonchin saw this point and began to research this tourism project. They even developed large villas that Huaxia people liked and built them directly around the scenic spots. They knew that Huaxia people did not lack money and would definitely be willing to spend it, so they could earn money. This was actually enough to earn money, but Peter Lonchin proposed that they sell some fake luxury goods in the shopping malls that they invested in at the same time. Peter Lonchin made his fortune by faking and imitating fake goods. In his eyes, Huaxia people were country bumpkins. Even if it was fake, if you put it in a specialty store, they would think it was real. They did not look at the material or style. What they cared about was the price. As long as it was expensive, that was good. If they did not buy the right one, they would buy the expensive one. This was the characteristic of Huaxia country bumpkins. In the eyes of foreigners, this was the level of a group of people who had become rich first, cultivated by socialist countries with Huaxia characteristics. But Rhodes, Lavini, disagreed. He felt that it was okay to make money from high-end products. This was not wrong, but they could not use fake goods to destroy high-end products. There was a conflict between the two. Rhodes, Lavini, felt that there was no need to earn this money, while Peter Lonchin felt that Rhodes, Lavini, deliberately did not want him to earn this money. It was not like he did not want to give Rhodes a share of the profits. If he could give him 30% of the profits for free, what was there to refuse? The two men caused a huge conflict on this issue, which eventually led to a falling out. But in the end, things passed like this. Peter Lonchin did not care about Rhodes, Lavini's opposition, and secretly put the fake luxury goods into the shopping malls. Peter Lonchin had been secretly doing this, and the profits from it were also in his own pocket. But there was no such thing as an impenetrable wall in the world. Rhodes, Lavini finally found out. The enraged Rhodes Lavini gave the order, and the hundreds of Dark Angel members found all the counterfeit luxury goods in the mall and destroyed them all. The value of these things did not matter, but Peter Lonchin's face seemed to be burned with these things. This matter completely caused a conflict between the two men. Peter Lonchin, who learned this matter, also rushed to the scene with the paladins. The scene was at daggers drawn. If the riot police had not appeared in time, something big might have happened. The two friends, who had always had a good cooperative relationship, unexpectedly ended up in this situation because of their different standpoints. Rhodes realized that this matter must be because Peter Lonchin held a grudge and wanted to retaliate against him. Peter Lonchin knew very well that the most important thing to Rhodes was his daughter. Everything else was better than letting him experience the pain of losing his daughter. Seeing that Rodnan Lavini didn't speak for a long time, Su-Yun asked, "Mr. Rodnan Lavini, I believe you already know who did it, right?" "Not only have I realized it, I'm even sure." Rhodes gritted his teeth and said, "I really didn't expect Peter to be so vicious after knowing him for so many years. I will never forgive him for this matter. Since the Paladins want to provoke the majesty of the Dark Angel, I will let them know who is the #1 master of Canada." "Pa!" Rodney Levine slammed his palm on the table. Celine's eyes widened in disbelief. She could not believe that the person she had always called uncle would do such a thing to her. "Did Dad make a mistake? How could it be? Everyone said they were indebted to you when you were alive, but everyone wanted to fan your grave after you died. It is difficult to paint a dragon or a tiger, but it is difficult to paint the bones. You may know a person's face, but not his heart." Bai Xiaoye seemed to see Celine's disappointment and comforted her. Celine glanced at Bai Xiaoye gratefully. All the disgust she had for her before had now disappeared. At this moment, she really hoped that she could have a best friend to vent her frustrations. Although she had just met Bai Xiaoye, she really hoped that Bai Xiaoye could be her audience. Rhodes made a few phone calls and was ready to denounce the culprit. With so many people, they would definitely not be at a disadvantage, so Su-Yun decided to add flowers to the brocade. "Mr. Rhodes, if you don't mind, I can go with you. Maybe I can help." "I can't ask for more," Rhodes said. Of course, he hoped to have the help of an expert. "Bai Xiaoye, I will leave Miss Celine to you." Su-Yun raised his eyebrows. Chapter 11:16. The aura of the Dark Angel's boss was absolutely overwhelming. Just for this trip alone, 4 Harley-Davidson motorcycles led the way, while the rest were all Cadillacs. The 3 leading vehicles and the 2 trailing behind were all SUVs. The one that Rode and Lavini were in was the same model as Little Bama's. They were all custom-made and could probably even defend against missiles. Su-Yun naturally sat in the same car as Rodnan Lavini. There were more than 20 people in the 5 cars, and they were just his personal attendants. After making a few phone calls, the Dark Angel's people had already gathered in all directions and were heading to the same destination. It was the headquarters of the Knights Templar Society, a club in Vancouver, Peter Locken. This was the place where Peter lived for a long time. Many of the matters of the Knights Templar were decided in this place. When Su-Yun arrived at the scene in Rodnan Lavini's car, the headquarters of the Knights Templar was already surrounded by the Dark Angel's people. This aura was definitely not weaker than the aura of any Chinese mafia boss who wanted to destroy someone. When the hundreds of people saw Rodnan and Lavini, they all greeted their boss in unison. This earth-shattering sound naturally alarmed the people in the club. Peter Lavini had already realized that the visitors were not friendly, but he did not expect that there would be more and more Dark Angel's people. He quickly contacted his subordinates to bring people to rescue him. However, the Dark Angel's people came too quickly. In just 10 minutes, hundreds of people had gathered. In less than half an hour, even Rodnan Lavini had arrived in person. Peter Lavini was very clear that what he had done had been seen through by Rodnan Lavini. Otherwise, Rodnan Lavini would not have come to trouble him in such a big way. After all, this was Vancouver, and such a big commotion would require some explanation. Although he was at a disadvantage, fortunately, Peter Lavini still had some men here. He was not to be outdone. He directly ordered dozens of men present to pick up their weapons and ammunition and decided to come out and talk to Rodnan Lavini in person. A minute after Rode Lavini got off the car, Peter Lonshin appeared in front of him. "Rodnan Lavini, what is the meaning of this? Are you planning to flatten the headquarters of the Holy Knights by bringing so many people here?" Peter Landison said, "No matter what, everyone can calm down and sit together to talk slowly. We can always talk it out. It won't get to the point where it can't be resolved, right?" Rodnan Lavini sneered. "Peter Lonshin, how dare you say that to me? Since I'm here, you should know why I'm here." The fact that Peter Lonshin had sent someone to kill Celine had been exposed, but he still refused to admit it. "You need evidence to do something. If you don't have evidence, you can't prove anything just by guessing. Rodnan Lavini, you are the leader of the Dark Angels. You should be clear about such a simple principle, right? It was true that Rodney Levine had no evidence, but there was no need for evidence. In Vancouver, the only person who had the guts to touch his daughter could only be Peter Lonchin, a paladin. If you don't have evidence, why are you here? Who said we don't have evidence? Of course, we won't come here without evidence, Su Yun suddenly said. You want evidence, right? Well, then I'll convince you. Rodnan Lavini looked at Su Yun in surprise. What evidence could he have? Peter Lonchin's eyes widened. His people didn't leave any evidence at all. Those who deserved to die were dead, and those who should have fled had fled. The scene of you stealing is already in the surveillance video. Su Yun suddenly said, nonsense, take out a computer, and I'll show it to everyone. Everyone was dumbfounded. What did he mean? What was going on? Why did he take out a computer? Peter Lonchin was completely confused. He frowned and asked, why did you come to me? Isn't it because someone wants to kill Celine? Ha ha ha. Didn't you say you wanted evidence? None of us said that we came to you because Miss Celine is in trouble. Someone wants to kill her. How did you know? Su Yun suddenly said sternly, Peter Lonchin, what else do you have to say? If you didn't arrange for someone to do this, how could you know that Miss Celine is in trouble? Peter Lonchin was stunned. He didn't know how he had let it slip. Rodnan Lavini's eyes turned cold. Peter Lonchin, I can't believe that you and I are business partners. Even if we're enemies, we understand that it's not as simple as family. You're so despicable that you arranged for someone to shoot my daughter. Are you still human? You burned my things. What kind of business partner are you? Peter Lonchin said, we've worked together for so many years, and you're falling out with me over such a small thing. I'm just making use of some Hua Xia people to make some money. What do you mean by cutting off my source of income? Do you think Hua Xia people are stupid? Do you think they can't tell what's real and what's fake? Selling fake goods will only give you a bad reputation. Who will come here to travel in the future? Although you've earned temporary benefits, you've lost the future. Rodnan Lavini said, all the countries in the world know that Hua Xia people who travel abroad are rich. Hua Xia people pay attention to a poor family's road to riches. Everyone has their eyes on Hua Xia people's pockets. You're ruining our credibility by doing this. Peter Lonchin sneered. Humph, you just don't think you've earned enough money. If you say so, then there's no need for us to work together. Rodnan Lavini said, it's useless to say more. Today, I'll let you know who has the final say in the Canadian community. Humph, then let's try it. Peter Lonchin had delayed enough time, and the Holy Knights had arrived. Although they were surrounded by the Dark Angels people, the people who came later surrounded the Dark Angels people. Instead, it became a pincer attack. Everyone had guns. If a fight broke out, it was not certain who would gain the advantage and who would lose. After all, it was not a competition of fists and hands. Bullets were not fun to play with. Once it was really chaotic, it would be troublesome. The Dark Angel and the Holy Knights were equal in strength. It was hard to say who was more powerful. After the fight, both sides would only suffer. Once the Dark Angel was seriously injured, there would be no one to help Su Yun look for people. Su Yun must be anxious now. To catch bandits, first catch the ringleader. The leader of such a large-scale community had a very high status. There was no doubt that once Peter Lonchin was under control, the Holy Knights would naturally not act rashly. The atmosphere at the scene was already at daggers drawn. Rodnan Lavini realized that things were not good. After all, he was caught in the middle. Although the Dark Angel people were more than the Holy Knights, they did not have the geographical advantage. Everyone had the same timing and people. The only difference was the geographical advantage. Rodnan Lavini thought of Su Yun's skills and knew that he was not a simple person. He quickly prepared to ask him for a solution. But when he looked back, he found that Su Yun, who was just beside him, had disappeared. Chapter 11:17. All of you stop. With Su Yun's angry rebuke, the sudden burst of pressure made the scene quiet down in an instant. This kind of powerful deterrence would definitely make anyone tremble in fear. Rode Lavini looked in the direction of Su Yun's voice and was shocked. Su Yun, who was still beside him a few seconds ago, was behind Peter Landru in the blink of an eye, holding a very familiar pistol in his hand. Seeing this, Rode Lavini frowned and reached for his back. The silver Desert Eagle in Su Yun's hand was indeed taken from him. Rode Lavini was more and more impressed with Su Yun and more surprised. What kind of magic did this mysterious young man from Huaxia use to move behind Peter Landru in such a short time? Moreover, what method did he use to remove the pistol from the back of his clothes without him noticing at all? Compared to Rode Lavini, Peter Landru was even more surprised at this moment. He couldn't believe that a guy with a weapon would suddenly appear behind him. With a gun pointed at his head, even if he was the leader of the Temple Knights who had seen great storms, he would still break out in a cold sweat. Most of the time, on the negotiation table, people would say some extremely threatening words to each other, and nothing would happen. For example, if you dare to fight with me for this territory, I will kill your entire family, exterminate your 9 generations, and tear you to pieces. Most of these words were just empty words. On the contrary, this kind of person who silently put a gun to their head was even more frightening. This was because although this kind of person didn't speak, they were most likely to shoot you directly without giving you a chance to speak. In the past, whether it was the former leader of the Temple Knights or the previous leader of the Dark Angels, they all died in this kind of silent assassination. Friend, let's talk nicely. We don't have to do this. Peter Landru was very clear that if he didn't take the lead, he would probably die here today. Put down the gun first. We have something to talk about. With their boss under control, the paladins didn't dare to move. This solved the Dark Angel's urgent problem. At this moment, the dozens of brothers around Peter Lanshan were all aiming at Su Yun. Let's talk things over. Sure, I hope Mr. Peter Landison will keep his word. Su Yun said, I'll put away my gun. Let's talk things over. But let me say this, I will only give you one chance to speak properly. Peter Landison nodded. As long as Su Yun put away his gun, everything would be fine. You can't trust him. Rodnan and Lavini's reminder was too late because Su Yun had already strapped the pistol to his waist. The moment Su Yun placed his pistol behind his waist, dozens of people around Peter Landison immediately launched an attack at Su Yun. Because their boss Peter Landison was also beside Su Yun, no one dared to shoot. Of course, they were afraid that the bullets would accidentally injure their boss. If they wanted to subdue Su Yun with their fists and feet, these white and strong guys who grew up eating steaks were really asking for trouble. When Su Yun turned sideways and kicked the first guy who rushed in front of him, sending him flying more than 10 meters away, the situation instantly became one-sided. Simple uppercuts, straight kicks, elbows, knees. Su Yun landed almost every move on an enemy. In a short span of 20 to 30 seconds, all the ferocious guys around Peter Landison were lying on the ground, moaning in pain. Peter Landison knew best whether these people could fight or not. Not to mention fists, the people around him were all elites of the paladins. Even if he was shot, he could still run a 10,000-meter-long run without a problem. But with Su Yun's fists and feet, they were all lying on the ground. Su Yun's simple fists contained a huge amount of force that Peter Landison could not believe. These guys who were hit by Su Yun's fists and feet would have a few broken bones, and those who were seriously injured would probably need to go to the emergency room for emergency treatment. If they were late, they would probably die. Before Peter Landison could recover, Su Yun's pistol, which was originally placed behind his waist, was now clearly pressed between his eyebrows. Peter Landison, you are the leader of the paladins. How can you talk like a fart? Su Yun said, I said, I'll give you a chance. Let's talk nicely. Don't make a big fuss. After all, this is downtown Vancouver. It won't be good for any of you to make too much noise. Peter Landerson swallowed a mouthful of saliva and said, Friend, you saw it just now. I didn't ask them to do it. Although they are my people, I didn't ask them to do it. They did it themselves. I'm not blind. Su Yun said, if you didn't give them a look, they wouldn't have dared to joke with your life. Su Yun's domineering aura absolutely shocked everyone present. Rodnan and Lavini sighed and shook their heads repeatedly. They couldn't even believe what they were seeing. The other members of the Dark Angel were so shocked that they couldn't close their mouths. Their boss had such a fierce person by his side. Just one of them was enough to solve this problem. What did he need them for? To stand on the stage? The paladins who had arrived on the periphery were dumbfounded. Although they now occupied the periphery of the encirclement, their boss was already surrounded by the Dark Angels and had a pistol pointed at his head. How could they fight? There was no way to fight at all. You have to be kind, just like vinegar. Su Yun said, as a man, you have to be true to your words. Don't play dirty. That's called despicable. That's called despicable. That's called despicable. That's called despicable. I don't know what the tempers of your Canadian clubs are like, but in Hua Xia, if the boss of any club is like you, he will definitely be hacked to death. Peter Lanshan admitted defeat today. Friend, give me a chance to talk to my old friend. You even sent someone to kill my daughter. What kind of old friend are you? Rodnan and Lavini sneered. Peter Lanshan, I knew that there would be problems when we worked together a few years ago. There is a saying that people who walk different paths cannot make plans together. Although we are on the same path, people are different. I'm sorry about Celine, and I regret what I did. But fortunately, Celine was lucky. Peter Lanshan said, Brother, we have worked together for many years. For the sake of our friendship, please give me a way out. From now on, there are no more Knights Templar in Vancouver. Everything is yours. Rodnan and Lavini snorted disdainfully. Don't talk like you gave it to me. Today, I kill you, and everything you have belongs to me. You know best what we do. You don't have to be so ruthless. There was already fear on Peter Lanshan's face. In this world, there was no one who wasn't afraid of death. You're the one who is ruthless, Rodnan said. You're also the one who doesn't leave a way out for yourself. Peter Lanshan still wanted to explain, but Su Yun suddenly raised his hand and smashed the butt of his gun into Peter Lanshan's temple. Peter Lanshan's vision went black and he fell to the ground. Dilly-dallying. Su Yun murmured, Mr. Rhodes Lavini, it's up to you how you want to deal with this person. Chapter 11:18. The originally tense atmosphere became completely one-sided because of Su Yun's personal efforts to turn the tide. Rodnan Levine waved his hand, and his men rushed forward and dragged the unconscious Peter Landru to the car. It was absolutely effective to capture the leader first. Once the other party was leaderless, no matter how powerful the society was, it would collapse. Those who could take on the burden as soon as the boss died were definitely old backbones with both ability and prestige. And the old backbones of the Knights Templar had all been defeated by Su Yun. The Knights Templar were quickly dismissed. Of course, there were also some sensible ones who switched sides immediately and swore allegiance to the Dark Angel in the future, hoping that Rodnan Levine would give them a chance. As for these people, Rode and Lavini would naturally incorporate them and let their subordinates deal with them. But he couldn't give these people a chance. These people were fence-sitters. If you were strong now, they would follow you, but when you were like Peter Landru, they would also jump out at the first opportunity to cut ties with you. If he put such people in an important position, he would really be muddle-headed. The hundreds of people dispersed before the police could make a move to disperse them. This made the Vancouver police a little uncomfortable. They thought that they would have to sit back and wait for a good show where the snipe and the clam fought, and then reap the benefits of the fishermen. However, nothing happened. Su Yun, I know that you Hua Xia people are loyal, Rodnan Levine said to Su Yun on the way back. I owe you for this. If it weren't for you, Celine would have been killed, and I wouldn't even suspect that Peter Landru did it. It's all thanks to you. It's just a small matter. Soo-yoon said, in any case, Miss Celine and I are friends. If I don't help my friend when she's in trouble, can I still be considered human? Mr. Rodnan Levine, to be able to reach your current position, you must know very well what it means to return the favor. Rodnan Levine nodded. No matter what Mr. Soo requests, just ask. No matter what it is, I'll do my best. That's a serious matter. Soo-yoon smiled. I hope that the Dark Angel can help me with a small matter. Isn't it a piece of cake for you to find someone in Vancouver? Of course. Rodnan Levine said, I understand. Mr. Soo wants to find Gu Chia of the Great Circle. I will do my best in this matter. But other than that, if Mr. Soo needs my help, I will do my best. Nothing else. Soo-yoon. After saying that, he hesitated for a moment. Now that you mention it, I really do remember something. Rodnan Levine not only wanted to return a favor to Soo-yoon, but also wanted to establish a certain friendship with him. The world was so realistic. If you were capable, everyone would look up to you. Mr. Soo, please go ahead. Then I'll have to trouble Mr. Rodney Levine to send me to America, Soo-yoon said. The quieter, the better. I think you must have a way in this regard. This small matter was too easy for Rodnan Levine. Leave it to me. Then, the matter of finding Gu Chia will be troublesome, Soo-yoon said. I will definitely help Mr. Soo solve this problem. Rodnan Levine nodded. Not only will I find her, but after I find her, I will also help you take care of her until you come back after you finish your business. Soo-yoon clasped his fists and said, I can't thank you enough for your kindness. Mr. Soo, allow me to say one more thing, Rodnan Levine said. I can guess what you are going to do in America. You must be careful. The CIA agents are really not to be trifled with. I know that Mr. Soo is skilled and bold, but as a friend, I still have to say this to you. Of course, they're all talents carefully selected by the Americans. I will be careful. Soo-yoon nodded. Rode and Levine were really interesting. In just a short while, they were already calling each other brothers and talking about being friends. With Rodnan Levine's guarantee, Soo-yoon didn't need to continue staying in Vancouver. At noon, Rodnan Levine entertained Soo-yoon with the highest standard of hospitality. In the afternoon, he arranged for Soo-yoon to enter America. Now, Soo-yoon only needed to wait until nightfall to enter America. Dinner was naturally the highest level of hospitality. Rodnan Levine really attached great importance to Soo-yoon. The people of Dark Angel didn't stay idle that day. They had begun to comprehensively search for Gu Chia's whereabouts. As long as Gu Chia hadn't left Vancouver and entered America, they absolutely had the ability to find her within 24 hours. Of course, if Gu Chia had entered America, then the people of Dark Angel wouldn't be able to do anything. After a day of contact, Bai Xiaoye and Celine had obviously become good sisters who talked about everything. Sometimes, they would join forces to complain about Soo-yoon. Soo-yoon really didn't understand the world of women. At night, Soo-yoon and Bai Xiaoye finally got into a car under the personal escort of Rodnan Levine. As for how they could enter America so easily, it didn't matter. If Rodnan Levine said it was safe, then it was definitely safe. The car drove for more than 2 hours and stopped several times in the middle. Every time, the driver would get out of the car to communicate with someone. Soo-yoon and Bai Xiaoye were always on guard, ready to encounter any unexpected situations. But every time, it was calm. Finally, the person in the driver's seat said, Now that we have arrived in Seattle, Mr. Rodnan Levine said that no matter where you want to go, you can tell me directly. However, the people on the way here have warned me that recently, the situation is very strict, and illegal entry is strictly checked. So, I think it's best if you two go back to Canada with me. You don't have to worry about this. We won't implicate you. Soo-yoon smiled. You don't have to send us anywhere. The rest of the entry is our own business. You can stop the car by the side. I'm sorry, Mr. Soo. It's not that I didn't take responsibility, as Mr. Rodnan Levine said. It's just that I really don't dare to get myself into such big trouble. Soo-yoon waved his hand. You don't have to be so polite. You can go. Drive safe. Thank you. Looking at the car driving away, Bai Xiaoye made a disdainful expression. How unreliable. He should have at least sent us to a hotel. I told him to dump us on the side of the road, and he really dumped us on the side of the road. That's too much. Okay, don't complain. It's not easy for him to earn a living. Soo-yoon said, We're already lucky to be able to enter America so easily. You have to be content. Bai Xiaoye shook her head helplessly. This trip with Soo-yoon was really torturous. Also, she could only swallow these words. Besides her master, she had no one to complain to. If she told her master, she would definitely say that she would be at a disadvantage if she didn't listen to the advice of the elderly. It's already so dark, and we don't have any news about Matthew. There's nothing we can do, Bai Xiaoye said. We need a place to stay. Humph, that guy should at least drop us off next to a hotel. We're not familiar with this place. Where can we find a place to stay? Chapter 11-19. However, Soo-yoon seemed to be happy too early. Although Seattle was a big city in America, the place where they got off was relatively remote. Because America was big and had a small population, the population density was not on the same level as Huaxia. Because the place was relatively remote, it was not as easy as they thought to find a place to stay. The number of places to stay in a city as big as Seattle was probably less than the number of small hotels around a university town in Huaxia. There was also another situation. Soo-yoon and Bai Xiaoye had nothing on them. They had no identification or passports. If they were caught, they would be locked up. There might not be any death threats in Huaxia, but it was different in America. If they really met the police, they would have the right to shoot them if they dared to run. It was impossible for them to find a proper place to sleep now. They could only find an illegal inn. If they were not locals, it would not be easy to find an illegal inn. After a while, Bai Xiaoye's patience was completely worn down. Soo-yoon, can you do it or not? Although I know that I came out with you for work and not for vacation, you can't let me sleep on the streets, right? Of course not. Soo-yoon, don't worry, we will definitely find an illegal inn after walking for a while. Good things come slowly, good things come slowly. Soo-yoon muttered to himself as he thought optimistically, who knows, it might be cheaper to stay in an unlicensed hotel. It's already so dark, but your heart is still so bright. I really admire you. Bai Xiaoye really wanted to knock Soo-yoon out with a hammer. They did not get used to the jet lag during the flight. Seeing that it was already late at night, Bai Xiaoye kept yawning. However, the two of them still did not find a place to stay, not even an illegal inn. Just when Soo-yoon, the optimist, thought that they would have to sleep on the streets today, a taxi slowed down as it passed by them. The driver rolled down the window and asked in a thick American accent, "Is there anything I can help you with?" To Soo-yoon and Bai Xiaoye, this voice was like the sound of nature. It was too pleasant to listen to. Yes, yes, yes. Friend, we really need help with something. Soo-yoon's eyes lit up. He finally saw a taxi. The United States was a big car country. Almost 100% of young people could afford to buy a car when they reached the age of driving. After all, the price was cheap. A 3.6-liter Wrangler only cost $27,000. Huaxia would cost at least $500,000. The Porsche Cayenne was less than $47,000, which was the price of an Audi A6. If Huaxia's cars could be sold at such a low price, it would not be just Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Audi, Porsche, Land Rover, and so on. The 5.0-liter turbocharged version of the Range Rover only cost $96,000 in the United States, and all the top-notch configurations did not cost more than $120,000. In Huaxia, it was priced at 2,640,000 renminbi, and with a few options, the price was already close to 3 million renminbi. Even if the imperial court's taxes were high, it should not be so expensive. The anti-monopoly investigation of Hua Xia's cars should continue. They should not let the foreigners cheat them. It was not easy for the people of Hua Xia to make money in the world. But on the other hand, it was probably the easiest for the rich people of Hua Xia to make money in the world. After all, some money was too evil. No wonder Rodnan, Lavini, and Peter Landisen were in the business of cheating the rich people of Hua Xia. In the eyes of foreigners, the rich people of Hua Xia were stupid and rich. Those who were willing to spend money like this were usually those who earned it too easily. Most of the money was not earned by themselves. They earned it by exploiting loopholes in the country's regulations, or by colluding with unscrupulous businessmen and corrupt officials to cheat the country. Take Tiger Zhou, who was killed by the Great Shi University, for example. It was exposed on the internet that nearly 1,000 properties were confiscated. There were probably some properties that he did not even know about. There were nearly 100 luxury cars. How could he sit in them all by himself? Antiques, calligraphy, paintings, and antiques worth billions. Just thinking about it was enough to make people tremble in fear. And this unimaginable wealth was only the tip of the iceberg. Houses, cars, calligraphy, and paintings, to put it bluntly, were just accessories of money. Su Yun believed that the country's leaders would definitely punish them severely, so he didn't need to worry about these things. The only thing he needed to worry about was finding a place where he and Bai Xiaoye could sleep peacefully for the night. "Get in," the taxi driver said. As soon as the two of them got into the car, Su Yun started chatting with the foreigner. "No, he should be the foreigner now. Sir, we have just arrived and were cheated. We lost our passports and everything. Now, even accommodation is a problem." Su Yun said pitifully, "Do you know any place where we can stay without identification?" "So miserable?" The driver was a Caucasian. He touched his chin and said, "Then I will send you directly to the Hua Xiar embassy." "No, no, no." When Su Yun heard that, she immediately refused. "It's already so late, and the embassy staff are already resting. We don't want to disturb them. We'll just find a place to rest and get through the night. Tomorrow, we'll go to the embassy ourselves for help." The taxi driver looked back at Su Yun and Bai Xiaoye. Then, he lowered his head and thought for a few seconds. "Okay, I know a place where you can stay." "Thank you, sir." Su Yun finally heaved a sigh of relief. He turned his head and said to Bai Xiaoye proudly, "Did you see that? This is what it means to see the light at the end of the tunnel. We were lucky to get a taxi." Bai Xiaoye stared at Su Yun. "If we didn't get a taxi, you would have let me sleep on the streets, right? Don't be so smug." If his luck was good, what could Su Yun do? This was called a good person's life. About 20 minutes later, Su Yun and Bai Xiaoye were brought to an old building by the driver. The walls around the building were covered in graffiti. No matter how one looked at it, this place did not give people a sense of security. "Okay, we are here. The fare is 50, the taxi driver said. He did not even dial a meter, so he was probably an unlicensed taxi driver. Su Yun and Bai Xiaoye did not have the time to argue. They directly gave him $50. The average price of oil in the United States was $3.5 per gallon. It was only 90 US cents per liter. It was cheaper than Hua Xia. It was so expensive to take a taxi for such a short distance. How greedy! The fare was a little greedy, but this place seemed reliable. Su Yun and Bai Xiaoye had just gotten out of the car when a black man in shorts and a singlet walked out. He smiled, revealing his white teeth, and said enthusiastically, "Hi, buddy. Are you looking for a place to stay? My place is very good. There won't be any police checks, and the price is cheap. We have 24-hour hot water and free Wi-Fi." These conditions were good. These conditions were already 5-star for Su Yun. Bai Xiaoye frowned. "Su Yun, why do I feel that this place is a little illegal? Big sister, aren't we looking for an unlicensed hotel?" Su Yun did not know whether to laugh or cry. They did not have proper identities. How could there be a proper hotel for them to stay in? Moreover, even if they ran into trouble, how could they be afraid of a few American hooligans? Bai Xiaoye could only give in. She had stayed in 5-star hotels all her life. This was the first time in her life that she was staying in a small hotel. She was really not used to it. Compared to Bai Xiaoye, Su Yun had much more life experience. There were even smaller unlicensed hotels in Huaxia. Didn't groups of university students go there? You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.